Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with James Farley.
Hello.
Matt Murray.
Hello.
And returning after 2 weeks off, it's Sean Bell.
Oh my god. Hello.
Sean,
There he is.
how have you been, man?
Fucking, do you know, so, I mean, I won't get into it, but I've been having stuff done to the house, been living at my mum's, right? That's where I've been
Just
the last 2 weeks.
briefly explain what you've had done to the house.
I mean, it's not that interesting. We've had
But just go through it quickly.
It's an old house, so we've had the damp course redone, which basically means drilling like holes in the walls all through the ground floor and then hacking off half the plaster because it's all falling off anyway because of the damp, and then having it all replastered and then all new skirting boards put on.
Right,
and
okay.
I know, like,
and
go on.
you got so that's why you're off for the past 2 weeks. James, have you got curtains yet, mate?
I've got a curtain rail.
Unbelievable.
It's
Is
not
the curtain rail
got the
up?
rail,
It's not been attached to the wall yet, but it's
gonna
up.
say-
Unbelievable.
Surely
Did you
the
hear what
lease
he's
put it up.
done? Do you hear what Sean has had done to his house?
Yeah, but he's
And
had
it's
people
taken
to
you
do
2.5 months to buy a curtain
Yeah, but he's had
rail.
people to do it. I haven't. I've had to do it myself. You know,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
since I've moved
Yeah,
back
I know
in,
it's a little bit
James,
different from putting the curtain rail up and getting your damp course redone. Like, there's a bit of a different level of skill to that one, James. I mean, I don't know.
it's just
I'm
not.
saying
Plus,
you.
James, I mean, since we've moved back in, we've got curtains. I had to,
Oh,
for some
listen to you,
reason,
la-di-da, got
for some
curtains.
reason, all the plug sockets in the living room were fucked, presumably because there was all bits of fucking plaster in them and stuff. So I had to replace the lot. So I did that
Well
with my
done.
bare hands.
Well done.
Got some of them USB ones.
They are
Well
good.
happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So basically, when this was all agreed, and we're like, right, just gonna go stay at my mum's and stuff. And I was like, you know what, a couple of weeks off, like, might be nice just to like not have to think about what I'm playing and stuff. And no, I fucking hated it. It was awful. Like 1 week off was maybe a bit of a novelty, but then by week 2, I was just like, I'd hate. I
It's
want to.
like lockdown, isn't it? When the lockdown started, everyone was a bit like, "Hey, oh, this is
novelty.
a bit."
This is great, isn't it?
Couple of weeks into it, we were just climbing the walls.
This is exciting.
Well, no one said it was exciting but you, Matt. Right, should we start the show by announcing our Patreon producers for this month? They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Tom S, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Palliser Shite, in brackets, Gabby Pereira.
Wow.
He's always been one of my
Mackay.
favourites.
Wow,
Oh,
Gabby,
yeah, I
that's...
know, yeah.
Wow, oh,
Move
fine,
them
okay.
right up. Graham Mackay, Rocketman76, Rex Reese, Happy Birthday Sam again, love Nilf, aka Bitch and Sink, Grey Dragon Claw, and Fred Fenge. Thank you so much for supporting the show. You too can support the show by going to patreon.com/TCGS. Various different tiers. There's some exciting movements happening for a future Talks Over, chaps. I think I told you. We officially set. I acquired the VHS tape of the game show I was on when my mum reckons I was 4 when I was on it, so I'm going to be even smaller.
4? Okay, when you told us that story, I thought, kind of 8,
I thought you were a teenager or something, you know?
All that.
No,
Not 4.
No. I said I was quite young,
Okay.
and I mean I'm not in it that much, but you can see me in the background and stuff. And we've got the VHS, and we sent it off. Pete, what's on the tapes is digitising it for us for our Talks Over, so I'm very excited about that. Very excited.
Do you know how long it is?
Well, it'll only be about half an hour, I think.
Okay,
it's
cool.
not too long. Matt's going to have a sweat on, and he's going to be pausing it every couple of minutes going, we need to hit this target that I've just made up in my head.
Well, I just don't want to mug
so
off people who pay their hard-earned money to support us on Patreon, David.
Quality, not quantity.
Well, I know,
It's fine.
but them seeing a game show that I'm on when I was 4, I think they should. I think that's worth the money. So go over to patreon.com/TCGS. That's not happening this month. What's happening this month, Sean?
This month, we are going to watch through the entirety of Ghost Hunting with the Happy Mondays. Because it's Halloween, isn't it? Although we're doing it on the
That'd be
Saturday,
good.
right?
We are doing Saturday the 30th.
Oh, what? Surely we should be doing that on a Monday, should we?
Or the Sunday as Halloween.
Oh,
The
we
Sunday makes more
actually, we
sense.
record on the Mondays, don't we? Yeah, okay.
But yeah,
But
it's-
although we are doing that Patreon thing, if you're not already a Patreon supporter, do not support us on Patreon because you'll be charged like a day later for the next month. So just that's That's just
I mean,
how
unless you
warning.
really want to watch it live, but just be aware of how
watch
much
it
money
live.
will leave your
That's
account.
the whole point, Matt. I feel okay. So go to patreon.com/TCGS. And before we go to the feedback, we've got a bit of a news announcement for the show. Who remembers Dash Radio? Hey, who remembers
never
that
forget
little
them.
event
I
show?
just remember
forget
the
them.
parking being a nightmare.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
what a situation that was.
Who remembers getting the sack by Snoop Doggy Dog because we wouldn't sign the rights away to our show?
Because
Do
every
you remember
show
that,
dare
guys?
to be over 2 hours.
Well,
Sometimes
it's happening
only
again.
just by an hour.
It's happening again. We've joined up with Radio Anywhere to play our back catalogue, to play shows as they come out. It's all happening. You can listen to Radio Anywhere by downloading the Radio Anywhere app. Just Google it. Just look for it on your app store, whether you've got Android or iOS, or I don't know if it's on BlackBerry. Do they still do BlackBerries, James?
Yeah, they still exist. No one buys them.
Do they?
But BlackBerry devices are Android devices now. So
Yeah.
Oh, are they? So you could get it on there if you want. Get it on your BlackBerry. There are loads of different shows they're playing throughout the day. So go and check out Radio Anywhere. And we're happy to join the team. And the CEO of Radio Anywhere has informed me that they will not ask us to reduce our shows to 2 hours to comfortably fit in with their schedule. And we can use the car park. So there's a bit of a touch in it. We could get free parking. Although, I did have a word with him last night. He told me that he would like me to advertise on Radio Anywhere for £75 a week. And I sort of said, well, maybe if you're going to be playing out our shows, what if we just go, listen to TCGS on Radio Anywhere? See? That's 75 quid we saved there just by doing that. So go check out that app.
I just thought,
we
keep doing the parking joke. Have we ever explained that on the show?
probably
I'm
not.
pretty sure. Well, if you don't know, right? Sorry, this was a long time ago. So if you don't know, I'll give you a brief summary of the history. We got an email out of the blue from someone at Dash Radio saying, "We really like your podcast. We want to play your podcast on our new gaming radio station. Would you be interested?" And we had a discussion. We said, look, the podcast is free to listen to. It's free to download anywhere, right? So, it could be played anywhere. It doesn't matter. We're not, it's not about you trying to get money out of it. So we said, yeah, if it gives us a bit of exposure, all good. If not, it's a nice thing to have next to our name that we're on Dash Radio. We then looked into Dash Radio and found out that it was heavily endorsed by, well, I don't even know if it was heavily endorsed by Snoop Dogg, but his name was on their website.
He was one of the presenters, wasn't he, on it? Or
He's one of the other hosts, yeah, because Dash
right.
Radio is like it was an American kind of network or station, and there are loads of various shows and hosts and whatnot, and also us.
So every month we would send them our latest podcast, and then they would upload it and play us out once a week. Yeah, and then we got an email saying, "Hi guys, can you reduce your show to 2 hours?" And I replied, "No, we're not doing that. We're a podcast. We want to start and stop when we want. We're not going to do that." And they said, "No problem at all. Fully understand." 2 weeks later, we get another email. "Guys, do you reckon you could reduce it to 2 hours?" And I went, "No, you've asked us." And we said no. And the answer's still no. No problem. Totally get it. Then a couple of weeks go by and I went, "No, you're really going to have to reduce it to 2 hours." And we said, "No, we're not doing that." Then they sent us an email saying we weren't allowed to use their car park.
Well, wasn't it? It wasn't just us, was it? It was like, it just felt like
no, it was all presenters.
There was this whole phase of like, we just kept getting emails just being like, right, update on the parking situation, guys. We're like, we're in a different country. It's fine.
They were getting quite arsey about it.
They were getting. They were really angry about their car park. And then finally, they sent a contract, and they said, "Please read through the contract." And I read through it, and it was flaky. You know what I mean? It was
bad.
Flaky. There was some stuff in there that genuinely looked like they were trying to claim ownership of our show.
It did look like, because it was kind of like, you read it and you were like, does this mean they own the show? Like, if we sign this?
Yeah. So I sent an email back saying, "Look, we're not going to sign a contract. if you want to play our show, we're all for it, but we're not going to sign a contract. And they said, we fully get it. Don't worry about it. And then 2 weeks later, they said, right, you didn't sign the contract. You're off the station. And I went, okay, all right.
Yeah. And they replied and said, we fully get it. And it's like...
Just a really bizarre relationship. So let's hope our relationship with Radio Anyway goes a little bit more swimmingly.
If you're listening to this now and you're like, oh, I found out about you guys through Dash Radio, please get in touch.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
that would be fascinating.
We don't believe that we were getting 750,000 listeners that they told us we were getting. Something tells me that we didn't get those listeners.
No.
But there you go.
No, just shy
That's
of
what
that.
we were told. Yeah, just short of it. Right, let's get to the feedback from last week's show. Or Sean, actually,
Hello.
have you got any feedback from the previous 2 shows?
Yeah, just a couple of bits. Because, I mean, you know what it's like. If I sort of pick through all the things I wanted to talk about from both episodes, we'd be here all night. But, so the first thing was, so this came up on Discord, and Dave, I know you've seen this. The Brad from Iowa, I'm sorry, mate. Everyone completely misunderstood your email. The Mario Party thing. So Brad from Iowa writes in explaining that it's okay for Matt to want to play this new Mario Party that's like a rehash of some of the older Mario parties. And somehow that turned into Dave announcing that Brad from Iowa was agreeing with him. And that
No. That's right. I flipped it, like I got it the wrong way round. He was in support of Matt getting the new one and not the old one.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd got that bit wrong.
Okay.
But the point still stands.
Okay.
Because the moment Brad from Iowa sent that in, Matt went, yeah, see? Yeah, good, all right, that's what I'm going to do. And my point about not listening to your mates and listening to one person that's emailed in, like that still stands, I think, Sean.
Okay.
So yeah, I got muddled up, but the point still stands.
I mean, the good news is,
how
Dave,
silly I sound.
I was going to say, the good news is that in you getting muddled up, you somehow convinced Matt of your version of the truth as well. In that Matt also seemed to be like...
I know.
Yeah, that was weird. The other thing is, James, this broken Switch Lite of yours,
Yeah.
so it's just one of the sticks is knackered.
Oh, it's not just knackered, it's broken off. Like it's... Yeah.
Which stick is it, left or right?
Left stick.
Right. Can I buy it off you?
Oh, okay. Well, you can have it for free if you want. I'm not bothered.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, sure.
He's dishing them out like Santa.
I mean, I'll cover postage, obviously.
What result?
You can have it if you want, seriously.
Wicked.
No. He's going to send it. He's going to send it to a house in Germany, and you've got to fly over and pick it up. Sure, that's what you got to do. Okay, all right. What do you want that? You don't use left stick much, no?
Are you going to repair it? Yeah, because you can. I know you can. Although it may be a bit different because this is the Switch Lite, obviously. So yeah, pulling it to pieces will be.
No, if you said it was the right stick, I might have got the fear because changing the right stick is a much bigger ordeal than changing the left.
I mean, it's in pretty good condition. It's fine, apart from just having the sticks completely broken off. So when I get back, I'll send it. Yeah.
I love the fact that Sean's instant thing is, I could probably fix that for
Just
about
fix it, yeah.
£3.
Yeah.
If I buy a new stick, I could just open it up and put the new stick. James was like, right, let's go down to Smith's.
Didn't you think about fixing
Switch.
it, James? Didn't you look into it?
I couldn't be bothered. It's
There you go.
Can we bother to Google
Fair
it?
enough.
I mean,
that's true.
we're going to have to, because
That's true.
I've got a microphone for you here, James. We're going to have to meet in like a motorway service car park or something,
Do an
aren't we? And just like
stopped by
barely
the
speak.
police.
Just be like, you're right. There you go.
Getting
Right.
stopped by the
See you
police,
later.
they arrest you, open up the cases that you've got, and just go, oh no, drop them. They're just nerds.
Yeah.
It's swapping them.
Police are like, what do you want this for? I had fucking stick's broken, you idiot. What are you
Sean
driving all the way
running
out
away,
here?
throwing the Switch into a hedge. You know, just
Bad boys. What you gonna do? Right, okay. Sorry, I think I'm stealing someone's patter. Right, is that it for your feedback this week, Sean? It's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you
It's good
back.
to be back.
What were the listeners saying about last week, Matt?
For first bit of feedback, thank God Sean isn't here. Oh, no, I'll remove that one. First one is from Disgruntled, actually.
Nasty.
Just listening to this week's episode, and I would chime in on the credits discussion in game dev. I'm an animator working in games and have spent the last 2 years at my last studio on the same project from pre-production right through until the until the later stages of production. I got a better offer and moved to a new company, so despite pouring 2 years of my life into that project, I'm only going to get a special thanks at the end of it all. I was told when I was leaving that you only get a full credit if you've worked on the entire development cycle, which seems a bit backwards considering someone will have stepped in to replace me, worked on it for half the time, and then get credited in a much more substantial way than me. Don't want to call out the studio, UK based though, but just wanted to point out that it happens across the board and is definitely a shitty practice. Thankfully, regarding employment, as long as you have experience and you can demonstrate your ability, it doesn't really matter in the long run. Because this obviously follows on from a story that we covered last week of people saying that they were cut out of credits because they worked for a small portion of Metroid Dread.
Yeah,
and
really.
thanks for emailing in, because it's interesting to hear from someone that's actually got some inside knowledge on this stuff. Who makes these decisions?
Management,
do you reckon there has to be a cut-off point?
I don't know. I can only assume it's just a shitty tactic to sort of try and stop people leaving. But just treating your employees well is another way of doing that. So it's interesting. One, isn't it? They've pointed out that so regarding employment, as long as you have experience and can demonstrate your ability, doesn't really matter. But they've definitely, I'm sure I've heard of cases where people have like it's hurt their CV because they can't prove that they worked on a game if they're not in the credits in some cases. So yeah,
I assume it's harder on sort of younger developers just entering.
Possibly. Yeah.
That career as well, because you're trying to, you haven't got that reputation behind you, so having a credit is a big thing, and if that's taken away from you, I do like when we discussed this last week, I did kind of think, oh, this is to stop the action of someone coming in later on in the project and getting as big a credit as someone that's worked on it for a longer time. But if that's not the case, then
I reckon it must be
it's a bit of a strange
to stop
one.
people leaving mid-project for sure. If you're like, well, if I want this credit, I'll just stay to the end rather than leaving in a critical time or in a critical role and risking the project. It must be about that, really.
It's also the sort of thing that you wouldn't really think to or have like added to your contract or anything. It's like any work I do is properly recognised or whatever. But
yeah, because especially
who makes demands when they start a new job?
Exactly.
I assume it's the same in that.
And because
weird thing to do.
Like game dev is incredibly competitive as well, so you're probably just like, oh, thank fuck, someone's hired me. This is going to be amazing. Of course, I'm going to stay here from my entire life. But yeah, and Dave, I know you were saying this last week. It's just absolutely shocking, given that it's not like adding a name to the credits costs anything. So so just sort of denying people a place in the credits just seems unbelievably petty, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if they're saying, oh, we don't want the credit sequence to be that long because there are literally thousands of names that we can put on here. As I said, it's not something that gamers really sit and watch. I know it sounds bad, but that's not really what they're there for, right? They're there for proof that you worked on something.
Yeah. And as you said, there are plenty of games with credits that run for fucking 10, 15 minutes. No one complains.
Has anyone responded to this?
Sorry?
Has anyone, have any developers responded to this? Or
I mean, we talked about it last week, where they just said, we only put people in who have been there for a certain period of time, but they didn't really give a rationale for it, why. It's just, that's what they do.
I guess because it's a standard practice, so they don't feel like they have to explain anything. That's just what it's like.
Okay. Well, maybe that'll change in the near future then, because I'm seeing more and more chatter about it on that Twitter.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? When the defence is just, oh, but these are the rules, and everyone's sort of going, but you set the rules. We're telling you the rules are shit. We're not saying you've broken your own rules. We're just saying, bizarre.
Okay.
Last week we talked about James's romantic bathroom, and we have some correspondence here from Sarah Dyer. Hello, lads.
Whoa, didn't we talk? We didn't talk about this on the main show.
Yeah,
this was Patreon.
No, we did, because the entire
Patreon
episode was called
content.
Romantic Bathroom.
Oh, right, okay. That's a good point. Sorry, Matt, continue.
Sarah Dyer. Hello, lads. A long-time listener, three-time guester. I've never actually left feedback before, but after James's romantic bathroom chat, I had to change that. I too have had to light a bathroom with only my phone torch due to the main light breaking and contacting the landlord being just far too much effort. I even had a technique where I would aim the torch into the mirror, thus increasing the overall light output. I can say from experience that it is not romantic in the slightest, and it's just straight up the worst. James, what are you on about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Not only that, it's like you see bits of yourself projected onto the wall, like that you don't want to see. My silhouette is disgusting.
Well, yeah, so as I mentioned, been staying at my mum's. One wall of her bathroom is just a giant fucking mirror.
It's the worst.
Which, like, and when you're on the toilet, it's like side on. And you just look like some sort of fucking goblin. It's horrible.
Over at your mum's as well. You don't really want to turn around and go, Mum, why have you done that?
Yeah, what's
Because you don't fit in the answer.
And like, there's an extractor fan, but it doesn't do anything. It's just, it's bad. It's not good.
Just makes that loud fan noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know those.
I suppose it disguises the noises. That's one battle, isn't it? But
yeah, that is. James, what's your response?
I'll tell you what, I'm loving that idea of using the mirror to like get a bit more get more out of it. That's a very good suggestion. I like that.
You're going to be you're going to start getting like crystals to shine the phone's light through and sort of refract around the room and stuff, aren't you?
It'd be like a fucking Zelda puzzle.
Just buy a little kaleidoscope or something, and lights everywhere.
James, seriously, why don't you just pop down to the local B&Q and get a light fit? What are you doing? Just get a light fit.
Just haven't got round to it yet. That's why it's just.
You haven't got round to anything, but you completed fucking Metroid.
I've built loads of stuff since we've been here. I've done tons of stuff. I just haven't done the curtains and I haven't done the light. They're the only things missing now. Everything else is done.
We're not going to do this now, but I would love to have a rundown of everything you've done and see where light in the bathroom would fit on the priority list.
That would be up there for me. That would be probably top 3.
Of course it's fucking important. Are you mad? We're entering winter. it's notoriously dark in the winter.
Yeah, I don't want to be shooting in the dark.
Well, it's not. You've got your light on. You've got the mobile phone light on. It's fine.
Oh, but it's all up all over the place. You're crazy, man.
Well, you see, when she says it's not romantic in the slightest, I don't agree, because you've got, like, especially after you've had a hot shower and there's all, like, mist, like sort of moving around in the room, and all like the lights refracting off it. It looks brilliant. It's well good.
Right, okay, fine. But Chen has told us, and we've got audio proof that she does not find it romantic. So who is this romance for, James?
She doesn't know what she's talking about. It's I think it looks good.
Was she lying on the show? Was she lying on the show?
It's her opinion. I can't speak for her, but I think it's romantic.
So hang on, so James, are you saying that you make her do the phone light mist thing for you? That's
certainly not.
Standing in the corner like the Blair Witch.
No, that does not happen. It's
okay.
I mean, they're on my own.
All right.
But,
Very romantic on your own.
Yeah.
Got him.
Charlie, some feedback on last week's cracker of a show. Number 1, Matt saying I didn't want to die when talking about a game called Deathloop made me laugh. Yeah, anyway, that's why. Actually, on that, because I think I listened back and I was saying, I wasn't really going after I wasn't really going to kill the Visionary. And you're like, well, what else are you going to do over there? But I guess I was just still trying to find information and clues rather than just going for the kill, because there's loads of extra stuff you can do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's cleared that one up. I don't know what you just said, Matt.
What I'm saying is, you're like, well, I don't have, just because there might be loads of information in and around where the Visionary is, but I wasn't focused on like trying to kill them because I didn't want to die. I want to like bring stuff back to get more slabs, get more abilities, rather than go over there, getting wasted and losing it all. So I was impressed with you saying you were getting like 2 or 3 kills really early on, because I wasn't trying to do it. I was just trying to stay alive as much as I could. I didn't want to bother them.
Good.
Number 2, Dave is spot on about the Super Mario Land theme tune. It's an all-time great. I recently set it
really
as
is.
my phone ringtone and no longer hate it when people call me.
What? Well, hold on. Who uses ringtones?
I was going to say, who has their phone on
this
loud?
is suspect
ever?
already. Well, one,
Yeah, I'm not liking that.
setting up really custom ringtones, and 2, having your phone on loud. I mean,
Yeah.
what
Bizarre.
year is this?
It's weird though, isn't it?
We've had an email here from 1998. Go on, James.
Like,
What's weird?
It is true that you just generally never hear them, do you ever? Like I heard one on the train the other day, and I was like, "What? What's
What the
that?"
fuck, man?
Going, yeah.
Oh, we do at the we do in the office because they're it's an older generation of people that I work with, so there's a lot of ringtones going off, and it's mad to me. It's
Wow. Are you
absolutely
still
mad.
hearing the classic Nokia ones?
Yeah. Go on.
Horrendous. And number 3, James and Matt, don't listen to Dave. Continue to spend your hard-earned money on whatever the fuck you want.
I don't
Brilliant.
remember
feedback,
this. What was this in
Charlie, right?
reference to? I don't.
James buying 14 Switches and Matt spending
Buying
200.
6.
What is it up to now? Your the price of your neon sign, Matt. It goes up every time I actually ask.
no, I think this comment was about the fact that I bought an OLED Switch, but the sign is still about £209.
209, so it's gone down £11 from when you last told us. He's lying. He's lying constantly. He told us 180 or whatever to start with. Then last week it was 220. Now it's 209. Okay.
It's early. It's certainly no more than £300.
Okay.
Garrison,
go, James, put one of those up in your fucking bathroom.
I mean, that is romantic, actually, James. So I'd recommend
It's pretty
that.
romantic, to be fair.
This is from Garrison Savannah. Guten Tag, die Computerspielershow.
Die?
Yeah.
Die Computerspielershow.
I didn't do German. I read DIE as die.
Oh,
Where did
God.
that voice come from? Because that wasn't James.
I mean, it makes that.
Go on.
I mean, it makes the intro to that message a lot more threatening as well. Good day, die the computer game show.
Yeah,
I want to
true.
say
Steady on.
how much I'm enjoying or loving Mass Effect. The new Matt Shepard is looking good, even when he has your actual eyes and mouth. Yeah. However, you're doing a couple of things that drive me mad. Although you'll probably get away with it since it's on casual, I wanted to give you a couple of bits of advice. Number 1, stick to the weapons your class is trained in, pistols and sniper rifles. The way combat works in Mass Effect 1 is if you aren't trained in them, assault rifles are so inaccurate you'll be missing 99% of your shots, which is true, but it's kind of fun just to go in and spray and pray. Number 2, you need to aim at a bad guy before activating an offensive power like sabotage or overload. Yeah, I'm not really using powers. And number 3, remember to go into your squad menu and assign your points now you're not auto-leveling. Put as many into charm and or intimidate as possible to open up the fun dialogue options. I know you definitely, well, all of you said do auto-leveling, but then on Sunday's stream, when I tried to be an arsehole to someone, I couldn't. I didn't have either like extremely nice options in a conversation or extremely arsehole things, and people saying it's because you're auto-leveling.
You get them from leveling up by choosing the Renegade option, Matt.
Well, everyone's saying, but there's also loads of points where if it's just auto leveling, it's not really going to certain areas. Whereas if you
right, okay, so
everyone
everyone said. So again, you're listening to random people on the internet and not your mates.
Well,
Gotcha.
no,
Okay,
like,
I've got to say,
basically-
Dave, I'm with the random people on the internet on this one. I would.
Whoa! You were part of the original advice. What's going on?
No, I wasn't.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, you were. You said to auto level.
No, this
You
is when
said
I was
to
off, wasn't
auto-level.
it? No, I never said to auto level.
No, you did. You
No,
agreed with
it
us.
was in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, you agreed
Sean.
with us that it was a good idea.
Bullshit. Right, I'm going to find this. Anyway, point
maybe
is,
it's auto leveling
you,
squad, but they said for you as a character, turn that auto leveling off so you can put the points into those things they mentioned, charm or intimidate, so you can get the fun options. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, fine.
Number 4, you have picked up new weapons and armor that you can equip. However, the inventory system is the stuff of nightmares, so I don't blame you for ignoring this one. Yeah, I have picked up a bunch of new weapons, but I went in there, I'm like, what am I even looking at? They continue. Awesome stream, good to have it back, Matt. It's great to see someone experiencing what is one of my favourite franchises for the first time. Yeah, because I'm playing on casual, I can just go in and blast people away in a room and not really worried about the abilities or discuss.
Yeah, I mean, Mass Effect 1, that's probably the way to do it.
Yeah, but and it's been fun and I don't have to worry about it, but there was a bit on the thing on Sunday where I swear it was probably, boss battle was probably the wrong word, but probably a bit where there's meant to be a bit of kind of suspense and action. I just went in and just shot a dude and, okay, that person's now dead. But I assume if I wasn't playing on casual or if it was a little bit more risk, it would have been a bit more exciting, that section. But I'm happy to play on casual.
Well, ignore us. Ignore us. Put it up to the harder, different. I'm sick of giving you advice and helping you out. Ignore us. Go and do it.
The thing about advice is you're more than willing to kind of
up.
ignore advice as you please. So I'll take my own route.
I mean, as we've heard,
okay. You take your own route.
As we've heard, Matt doesn't like to ask for help or advice anyway. So
no, it's true. Also, it's a sign of
whatever
weakness.
You do now is actually offending me.
It lost the fucking chat though, wouldn't he? And also.
And I don't ask the chat. The chat give it to me, and I just say I just agree one whatever. I'm not asking. I'm saying, hey everyone, do it. What do I do? I mean, actually, Maywood did say it on Sunday. So what was she saying?
I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but how comes the feedback section is now about Matt's stream as well? I thought it was supposed to be about the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is like feedback-ish. Okay, we'll move on to something that's not
of the stream. Go on.
We'll move on to something else that's nothing to do with me. The Investigator. I feel you guys buried the lead a couple of episodes ago when Matt quickly dropped in the fact he'd rebought Skyward Sword. Hang on, what?
No, he's misunderstood.
No, this is embarrassing. I'll
the
read
Investigator. Go and read the rest of it. Come on, let's see how wrong it goes. I buried the lead
a couple of episodes ago where Matt quickly dropped in the fact he had rebought Skyward Sword. If I remember correctly, he went on a diatribe about how woeful it was, gleefully rid himself of the burden of owning it, then went on to buy a second-hand Wii to relive the good motion controls. Why the rebuy? I didn't buy Skyward Sword.
Why the rebuy?
Why the rebuy, Matt?
Why the rebuy?
Why did you do that? Why did you rebuy that?
I can't remember what game I hated on another console. No, I bought Breath of the Wild. That would be absolutely ridiculous if I...
You know what's happened there? The Investigator has thought that you, Matt, were me. And so he's assumed that that's what's happened. It's, that he's rebought something he hated.
Well, listen, Investigator, don't feel bad, because if you've got any advice about Mass Effect, Matt will just listen to you blindly. So just send that in next week and make it all good again. Go on, we got any more?
Well, I'm not going to listen to him now. Graham Mackay, we're in this one. Just catching up on the pods following an extended visit from my mum. I could listen to one single counting pod because she's off my girl 24/7. Anyway, I've just discovered that James' secret location is in fact in Germany, where I live. Would James like to meet for currywurst or Poms?
And Poms.
Currywurst and Poms, or a fully naked sauna. He seems like totally the kind of person that would deal well with meeting new people. What do you reckon, James?
Currywurst is all right, actually. It's not too bad. I've had it quite a few times.
That's not the question, is it? Yeah. That's not the question. It's not what's your opinion on currywurst or fully naked saunas. It's do you want to meet up?
No, I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
I mean,
Graham, listen. Just if you're going to meet him in a sauna, make sure your phone's fully charged. Get the light on,
and you've got one of those wide-angle lenses on it. Because James is a big boy, right?
Thanks, Dave.
Also,
that's a bit.
No, I mean your penis.
Graham, Graham is a full Nels member.
Sorry.
James. Just wanted to.
Oh my god!
Thanks, Dave.
Sound terrible thinking back. I just had your penis in my head. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Can you stop saying that?
I'm sorry. Right, is that it for the feedback, Matt?
Yes.
Oh, can I just say I've missed you guys.
Right. We had a poll on Twitter this week. It was the big one. It was to decide who had come up with the best advert for Blue Yeti microphones during our advertising campaign. Matt, do you want to run through what happened?
Yeah, we put out a vote on Thursday last week. Around till Saturday, we had 499 votes, and here are the final results. Unfortunately, David was in last position with 4.4% of the votes.
I'm okay with that.
Third place was James with 16.2% of the votes. And then it was incredibly close between me and Sean, changing position right until the last moment, really. But I just pipped Sean to the post with 39.9% of the vote, and Sean had 39.5%. So it must have been like a vote or two in it. It was quite exciting
because I was out on Saturday
weekend.
morning. I was out on Saturday morning, and when I saw the result, I was like, if I just fucking flung a tweet out, just been like, oi, just give us a couple of votes.
You should have done that, Sean.
I know I should have.
Did you? But you did that a couple of times, didn't you, Sean?
I did it once on, I can't remember, I think I just retweeted it on the Thursday, and then I think on Friday, I shared it once. But if I'd just done another one on Saturday, it would have been all right.
So we were taken.
What did make me laugh was, people obviously making jokes about Russian bots. I was like, the only way we would be using Russian bots to make this more entertaining is if me and Matt were just like giving ourselves like one vote each at a time. Just like,
what was it? I wasn't that disappointed actually, because I remembered that I'm not a marketing guy. It's not my thing. I'm quite happy. I thought I would have done a little bit better, but when I look back,
some people were saying
it's not my bag, is it, marketing? So I'm quite satisfied with. I mean, I can't believe I got 4% to start with, considering the feedback we were getting throughout the week. Did any of you guys vote on each other's?
No, I didn't vote at all.
You didn't vote at all, Matt?
I didn't vote. No.
Matt, because you didn't vote?
No, because you can look at my. I didn't vote because I know this will come up. So no,
okay.
you can look at it, because I was like, what's the point? Like,
Sean, did you vote?
Yeah, I voted for myself.
Okay, James, did you vote?
I also voted for myself. Yeah.
Oh, really? I voted for Sean.
Really? The second choice would have been Sean.
I thought his was the best one.
Yeah, me too. It was.
Sean's is definitely the best advert for sure. Yeah, it's no contest really.
Okay.
It was the best.
Well, that's good
actual
because
advert, and the brief was advert, not silly songs.
It's true, and Sean won technically, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did I?
Go on then.
Go on.
Well, Matt, you cheated.
Go on.
What do you mean, go on? You know this, right? You know you did this.
How did I cheat?
We all agreed on one rule.
Well, what was the rule?
That was it. Before we recorded the adverts in the WhatsApp group, we had a big long discussion about what we could and couldn't do, and we all come up with one rule: not to use licensed music. And you used licensed music.
Was that the case?
Yes.
Yeah, there's more.
Not only that. Yeah. I mean, James, do you want to?
Yeah. I mean, shall I read what I wrote? What do you think?
Go on then.
WhatsApp group. So I mean, before this was, when was this? This was after Dave had done his. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, well, I've got to get working on mine. And I had an idea, actually, for what I was going to do for my advert. But then I was a bit worried, because I was just thinking...
Tell them your idea, James. Tell them your idea, please. It was so good.
Well, you see, my idea was I was going to use a football song, which is the Chelsea song, which is Blue is the Colour. And I was going to do... I was going to modify it so that it would go like blue is the... Then I was going to go microphone and all stuff like that. I was going to bleep it through and all that kind of stuff. So that was my idea. But you see, I wasn't sure about it because I just thought, well, I'm not sure about the copyright issues on this song because although it is like a fan chant, it was also a song. So I thought I better investigate this. So I got in the group and I thought I better chat about this with the lads and see what they think. So I said, okay, so I'm working on my advert. I've got an idea, but that I really want to do, but I'm not sure if it violates any copyright. Sean said, oh God, can you tell us without spoiling it? And I said, not really, that's the problem. And then Dave said, probably best to do something good, to do something else then. And then I said, yeah, it looks like it's a no-go, because I had a look about like monetization, how you can't use it for commercial purposes and all that kind of stuff. And then I thought, okay, well, I can't do it. I'll have to do something completely different. Yeah. Shame.
Oh,
and you did explain to us, didn't you, what the idea was
James,
eventually?
that you were basically going to have the song, but then just input the word blue over it at points.
No, I was going to input the word microphone, and then also add all the other the marketing stuff as well for it. That was the plan. Yeah, it's quite similar to what you did, but like a little bit different.
It's not quite. I mean, I use covers. Like Creative Commons covers of the tracks. I didn't use official backing tracks because I didn't want to get involved.
Do you know how Creative Commons works?
I just found ones that it says like free to reuse for commercial purposes, that kind of rubbish, and download and use as you please. I didn't look for the logo.
It says, I have actually got text messages of yours here. It says, I'll definitely ask, but I bet they won't have any official music. And they'll just expect us to have no bed, or we'll have our own standard bed, or we'll use some unlicensed stuff.
Yeah.
But you use licensed stuff, Matt.
Yeah, but I don't remember us all saying down, okay, right, here are the rules. James
went on to say, after he said he can't do his idea, he said, like, I was going to take a song and change some of the words, and we left it that he wasn't allowed to do that.
Yeah, but I changed every word and didn't use the official backing track.
I don't think it matters if it's the official backing track.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done the same thing.
It does matter if I change some of the words and use the actual song and add some other bits. I get that, but I just used an unofficial backing track, and then every lyric was unique to the marketing materials.
But you can't just. Could you release that as a single then?
No, but I wasn't intending to.
But you are profiting from it.
Using it for commercial purposes.
Yeah.
Oh well,
literally commercial purposes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought it was a great song. It wasn't an advert, but it was a great song.
Okay, that's your defence, is it?
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say, actually, yeah. I think great. Thank you for everyone. Thanks for the votes, everyone. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for everyone that voted for Matt, and you must be pissed off because it feels like it counted for nothing, but we do appreciate it. It was quite exciting watching that poll throughout the week. But the official standings are Sean, you won the competition, well done.
So not really our right to win, to be honest, but...
James, second place, well done, mate. I finished third, a little bit disappointed, but as I say, I'm not really a marketing guy, so, I got a few votes, I was happy with that. Matthew Murray, disqualified.
That's unfortunate. Dave, some people are saying you suffered, Dave, because you went first. Would you say that's true?
No, I don't think that at all. I think I suffered because I thought I had a funny idea, but I didn't nail it. I think that's why I suffered. Mine wasn't very good. I wouldn't say that it was because I went first at all. I did think it was funny when I was recording it and listening to it back, though. But then when it went out, and the amount of abuse I got...
People were very upset, weren't they?
Very upset. There was people saying they weren't going to listen anymore. I saw it on multiple forums. People saying, "Jesus Christ, that was the worst thing I'd heard." Yeah. I was like, "Oh, okay." I wildly misjudged this one then. But there you go.
It was nice to have a vote where there wasn't some twat ruining it with paid for votes, or if some did do that, they're incredibly subtle this time.
Incredibly accurate, yeah.
I was just waiting. I was waiting for Dave Sonny to have 99% of the votes, but thankfully it didn't happen.
No, I don't think anyone would actually go through the effort for my one. That was the
but people
problem.
have gone through the effort twice now on two separate Gotti polls because I think that's fun.
That's a good point. But all I will say is that earlier in the year there was 4 podcasts based around the fact that I didn't break a rule, and the first opportunity you got, Matt, you broke the rule. And,
I don't think we actually set out a rule, so I don't believe we actually had a rule saying, "Is this officially a rule?" No, because I'd always start work on my bit at that point, and there wasn't okay.
No, you
James hasn't done it. None of us can do it.
A week before, you said that you had to scrap everything you did.
What's that say?
A week before when we put mine out, you said you had to scrap everything you did. You did 5 hours of recording and then scrapped it all.
Yeah, well, I did loads of basically what I did in the end, and then I couldn't think of another idea, so I just went back to that original idea. See,
I'm surprised by your reaction because I genuinely thought you knew what you were doing.
I just thought, how about if I just change the lyrics? I use some. But
that's what James said he wanted to do, and we all said he couldn't do it.
Well, James didn't have to listen to you.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay. All right. Another twist in the history of TCGS. You all right, Matt?
Yeah, I'm fine, yeah. I had a wonderful time. No, but seriously, yeah, Sean's was easily the best because it was his natural advert. And also, Sean, I've listened to that bit where what Isaac says... Should we listen to the murder? What was actual words he said about murders?
Yeah, it's about real murders. I'll say this.
His voice is amazing.
When I had, because we haven't spoken to each other about our adverts. This is totally true. We said we were going to keep quiet about it. I'll say this. When I heard Sean's, I thought, oh, fuck you, Sean. Getting your kids involved to get the votes, right? But then I thought, actually, no, that's genius. Like, that is a genius move. But then when James stole the idea the week after, I was kind of like...
See, that's what pissed me off, because that's why I had that whole conversation about, Sean's going to go first, and then it's like, then it's going to look like that's what's happened. I'd already recorded mine. That's why it was ready to go.
Yeah, but you hadn't heard his.
I know, but it's... I hadn't heard it, but I'd done the same thing with the kids. Obviously, I'd used them, but I'd already recorded it.
Yeah, but how... You didn't know you did the same thing with the kids.
I know,
when you
but
were
I was
demanding to go before Sean.
I know,
so why are you so desperate to get out first? Because at that point you didn't know what his was.
I know, because I was worried that he was going to be better than mine anyway, which it was. And, I just...
That was a fucking weird conversation, wasn't it, Sean? Did you feel a bit... no, you were in the conversation. Matt, did you feel awkward when those two were going at it in the WhatsApp group about who was going next week?
No.
I gave up pretty quickly. It's...
Yeah, I thought we resolved it like adults.
There was a couple of comments in there that was
Okay.
I thought it was a little... Maybe I just read it as a
it's
little
such a
bit more
fucking
serious.
stirrer, Dave. It's me and James, just perfectly good mates, and you're like, yeah, but what about that time where you nearly fucking killed each other?
How has it taken you this long to call me that? How is it on the show, at least? Do you know what I mean? You've finally worked it out.
Yeah.
You've finally worked it out. Right, so that was it. That was the one and only probably marketing campaign we'll ever have. So
the last one.
Thank
I
you.
feel like it went well.
Thank you to everyone that voted, and congratulations, Sean Bell, on your comprehensive victory.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations,
Sean. It was great. Yeah.
Cheers.
Really good.
Should we get some news?
Why not?
Fucking hell, what was that gap for?
I was muted, wasn't I? And I was just not...
And he's like, it's all right, I'll style it out. And then...
Anyone else feel a bit tense?
No,
I'm all right.
I'm having a wonderful time.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, news. Microsoft shows Halo Infinite campaign for the first time since Craig. Bong. Should I not do that?
Where's this come from?
No, please do that
Any bongs
for
with us.
every episode until this show wraps up.
Well, here we go. Go on then.
No,
Yeah,
I thought
I'm
I could
up
just
for the
add
bong.
it as like a extra
Yeah,
thing, you know? It was like-
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm bang up for that bong.
Brilliant.
Let's
Okay,
get-
that's
let's
coming.
get going.
That's going to keep coming. So anyway,
Ugh.
yeah. Fucking hell. Anyway, so Microsoft have shown the Halo Infinite campaign, like some more of it, and it looks all right. It's got an upgrade system. You've got strongholds you can capture, which is a bit like Far Cry. And I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it looked fine. It looked better than it did the first time they showed it, obviously. Although there was one bit that I
thought it
saw
looked really good.
where it looked like they cut away just a second, where it looked like there was going to be popping. But that's probably just me overreading things.
What the fuck? Sorry, go on.
No, there
Explain that.
was one part of the video where they were like, oh no, I can't explain it. This is ridiculous. There's no way I can explain what I mean by
Right,
this.
let me get
You
this right.
mentioned
You were
it.
watching the trailer,
Yeah.
and you thought they cut away just before some popping.
No, it,
so there
it,
was
looked,
no popping.
it looked like there was a frame of popping and then it had cut away. That's why.
Have you got a timestamp?
No, of course I haven't. Come on. This is the kind of thing that I
anyone think
said.
that James-
And then as soon as I said it, I thought, why did I say that? Like, this is ridiculous.
I've got a feeling James was furious about this trailer
Why
because I
was
thought
I?
this looked really good.
I thought it looked good.
This
I
looked
said
really
I thought it looked good.
And James was like, "Oh, I was hoping to shit on something again. I was hoping something was going to be shit."
Why would
And
I
it
be
turned
hoping
out
this would
to
be shit?
actually be
I
really
like
good.
Halo. I hope it's going
Because
to be
you
good.
love it when. Why do you want to buy a Jaguar?
I don't anymore. Well, actually, I do. That's true.
Matt, what did you make of it?
I thought it looked excellent, yeah. I was really impressed at the time when I watched it, and I watched it back again in 4K. It's obviously, I think it's a massive jump up from the one we saw previously. I think, yeah, visually and all that kind of stuff, I think it looks good. It didn't turn me off, but you're hearing about strongholds and upgrades and stuff. It just, I thought, yeah, if this was Far Cry doing this, which it does do, I'd be like, boring. Because Halo, I'm like, okay, I'll I'll allow it a bit more, but I still got a lot of Far Cry vibes in that. And when I hear about strongholds and whatnot in Far Cry games, I'm not exactly inspired. But
it's a different type of combat, right? So the problem I found eventually with the strongholds in Far Cry is that that's quite a slow paced game, because if you go rushing in there, you're dead, right? Whereas so you would have to sit back, you'd mark everyone, and then sort of slowly take a few people out, and then dwindle down the numbers within the stronghold. Whereas this felt more like, what was that famous level in Halo Combat Evolved? The
cartographer.
Yeah. Where you see the overturned warthog. Is that the one at the start? You're like, shit. Yeah.
It feels more like that, where you're looking down on a base and you're just like, right, it doesn't matter about me being noticed. I've just got to pick off a lot of enemies here. And that feels way more Halo than it does Far Cry.
I did get a couple of vibes of that when they were bursting. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe it's just... in that first Halo game, we loved the kind of semi-open worldy bits where, exactly as you mentioned, Dave, at that one part of that level, it was like, this is amazing. And so I did get a couple of vibes of that by seeing a couple of them, but just hearing, even a moment where like, hey, what's this? Oh, you got to like shoot 4 of these tanks, and that was in like the big gas tanks, whatever. And I was like, okay. The idea of open world Halo sounds cool. I think, like I said, it looks really good. Everything seemed like a step up from what we saw previously, but that kind of gameplay, I was like, okay, but no, it was a marked improvement. That's the main thing. I wasn't like, oh my god, they've absolutely fucked it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm much more psyched now. I'm much more excited. This looks good. I can't wait to play it in December.
Yeah, and I think it benefits from going in, because when I watched the trailer last year, I was adamant that Halo needed to change completely, and I think it helped me going in knowing that it wasn't going to. Like, it wasn't going to be a massive change that I was hoping for last year. And it certainly didn't look like a massive change. I mean, it looked a lot like Halo 1. There's no doubt about it. But I think now that I'd gotten over that disappointment that they weren't going to change things in a big way, I sort of fell into that trailer and went, oh, it looks great now. And there were way more enemies on screen, way more going on. Have you watched a comparison video yet?
I've seen comparison screenshots. I haven't seen the video.
It's nuts, the amount of work they've done on it. But I think more noticeably, it's the lighting that changes quite a lot. Like, it looks beautifully lit now. And this has potential all of a sudden. I'm not going to sit here and say this is going to be a classic. This is Halo back to its best. But we've heard good things about the multiplayer from people that have played it. And we've seen this trailer, which looks so much better than last year's attempt at trying to get us to play this game.
Yeah, I would argue that actually they have made massive changes. The fact it's open world and that kind of stuff. I mean, the core gameplay is still Halo, and we didn't expect that to be changed, but the structure of how the game is, and we don't really know how that works in terms of moving from this open world thing to kind of story-based
that's
missions.
What's confusing me. Because last year, after they played that trailer, they said, no, it's not an open world game. This is just a large, this is part of the game, and it is a really large area. Mm-hmm. The game goes places. It doesn't stick in this one area. So, I mean, we've not seen any of the other areas, and they certainly didn't hint anything within this trailer. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. And they showed a lot of vehicle combat on this one, which I think did good things.
What I think the vehicle combat's always been one of the best things in those games. It's well good. It was really solid.
The bit where you jump out of a Banshee, blows up another Banshee, and then grapples to a third Banshee and climbs in.
It's incredibly Battlefield, cool. Isn't it? That's such like a... I mean, even in the most recent Battlefield trailer, they talked about Battlefield moments. It's exactly that, and that's the kind of clips you would see when people play Battlefield games online, going from a jet to another jet and so on and so forth. And it's cool they put that stuff in there, and the stuff where you can kind of traverse the landscape really quickly with that hook shot. I can't remember what they call it. That looks like it could be really, really cool.
Yeah, like the
I'm
fact
glad
that
they delayed it now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I thought this looked great as well. The fact that I haven't played a Halo since Reach, so I'm probably hopelessly out of touch. But the thing I'd always liked about Halo was that although you were going through these sort of very designed, sort of pitched encounters with enemies, there was always this sense that like the game itself was robust enough that it's just like, you know what, here's like a space, here's some enemies that are all different types, and here's some guns and vehicles littered around, and just working your way through that is interesting inherently because of the systems involved and how everything works together. And I think just sort of taking that and just giving you a much bigger map, and like even if it is just essentially a Far Cry, but with those Halo mechanics, I think that'll be really fucking good. I think it'll be really good fun.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, as I suspected would happen, I was sort of watching it and I was like, this looks incredible, but it'd be even better in co-op, which we can't play until fucking March or whatever. So but I was really encouraged by this. I thought it looked great.
Me too.
Cool.
Okay, next story is that Xbox Game Pass growth slows as Microsoft misses target. Bong. Yeah. Should we still do that or not?
Okay.
No.
Does it go into the targets, like when the targets were set?
Yes. So, anyway, they haven't... So, what it is they aimed to grow the subscriber base by 47.79%, but the growth they achieved was 37.48%. And then
From where to when? From when to when?
This is for this year. I think it's for this calendar year. Because if you compare it to last year, the target was 71%, but Microsoft grew by 85.75%. So last year they did a lot better. But then as Games Industry Upbiz say, obviously this was peak pandemic year last year, which is probably why...
It's not calendar year.
It can't be calendar year.
30th of June to the 30th of June, right? Or 30th to the 29th.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Mm-hmm. See, the thing is that target. Well, I was thinking about this today. That target would have been made with the idea that Halo was coming out.
Yes, that makes sense.
What I mean? Yeah. Which is a big thing and it didn't. So I don't think they'd find it a surprise that they didn't hit their target, but they've got. Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, would the target also have been set assuming that next gen consoles would be readily available by that point?
Also that as well.
I mean, I know PS5 is still a pain to get hold of. Where are we with the Xbox, and are they still...
Let's have a look. Should I have a look on Amazon just see if they're available?
Yeah. That's the question. It's still hard to get. Not as hard to get hold of as a PS5, but...
Yeah.
Can I buy a Series X or a Series S right now? I could buy a Series S and it will arrive tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
What about...
Great console.
it doesn't look like a Series X is on there.
Okay.
Series X is unavailable.
All right.
So...
Well, that can't help.
Yeah, it looks like...
But...
Oh, you could buy a standard one for £789.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm
can
guessing
you get me one quick before you sell out?
But yeah, but then I mean, according to Games Industry Upbiz, the latest figures that are released for how many subscribers they had was is from January this year. So obviously it's hopelessly out of date now, but it was 18 million at that point. So yeah,
18.
That's all right though.
Oh right, because the last time they reported it was 10, right?
Mm-hmm. And so
and then there was that. Wasn't there that slip that they accidentally announced, or accidental? They said that they were up to 20 a couple of months ago, didn't they, on a live stream?
Yeah, that would make sense if that's the plus the what was it they've done this time 37.48%, like on top of before.
I mean, it's not bad if they're at 20 already.
Yeah,
that's not bad going, is it? Yeah, and once the big hitters start coming out, I've got a feeling a lot of people will sign up for either Forza or Halo towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Plus, and I mean, I know this
is going to get interesting.
This probably sounds ridiculous, but I gather it still fucking sells. Minecraft is coming to Game Pass, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I know to us seems
it's
ridiculous.
Already on Game Pass, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was already on there. I'm sure it's already on there.
Yeah, Microsoft own it, so I'd be very surprised.
I know they own
it,
but they've made a big song and dance about it finally coming to Game Pass on consoles and stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, I think.
Dungeons
I'm
is
questioning it. Yeah, Dungeons is on there, but I think actual Minecraft is... You still have to buy it.
No, it's been on there since 2017, I think.
Yeah, has it?
It's been on there for a long time.
So where have I fucking seen...
I thought you were going to say, like, August or something. 2017, okay.
Right,
Sean,
coming November
what's going
2nd.
on, mate? You have a couple of weeks off and you're way off the pace.
I am. Who's fucking... Yeah, so 4th of April 2021, Minecraft is coming to Xbox Game Pass. Where's this? Oh, Minecraft is coming to Xbox Game Pass for PC. Maybe that's the
right.
news.
Okay, there we go.
Because isn't that the Java version as well that they're adding?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, which is Oh, Asher really wants to play that. I don't know why.
There you go. See, it's big news.
Wait, hold on. What's special about the Java version?
It has, isn't it the one that has like mods, like different mods that you can get?
Yeah, it's the original. So originally it was a Java game, and then eventually they realised that was sort of a very bad decision that was made right at the start of Minecraft. Then they made the Bedrock edition, which is the sort of cross-play, all singing, all dancing one, but. Yeah, the Java one is still, if you want to mess with it and do mods and stuff, is still the pro's choice, I guess. But, yeah.
Pro Minecraft.
Crucially, I'm not going mental, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, you're just not reading past the headline. You're doing a Farley.
Not on this point, yeah.
James, what's the next Bong?
Sony have been granted a patent which allows people to view, like to pay to remove players from games that they're watching.
What?
Bong.
Go on, this sounds interesting.
Okay.
He's dropped the bong. I should
I
point out as well that the
bong,
bongs are usually at the start when you go through all the headlines, then go into the stories.
You're right, actually.
We'll work on it. We'll discuss it.
I'll go back to that in a minute, yeah.
I am.
So anyway, so they've been granted this patent, and it's called, the patent name is Spectators Vote to Bench Players in a Video Game. And it allows viewers to vote or pay to have a player removed or send a custom message. So the patent specifies Twitch as an example of how spectators will view the live game, and then viewers will be given access to like a menu alongside the stream that will include options to remove or, as I say here, like bench players, warn the player to improve, or provide like a custom message or whatever, or keep a player in the game. And then so the player would...
warn the player to improve. Have they used the internet? Fucking hell.
I was about to say,
great.
Let me get this right. Sony want to give some sort of power to a Twitch chat. No one question this?
Well, let me
continue,
because there's more stuff. So a player will only be removed if voting reaches a certain threshold, and they're suggesting they're suggesting 60%, and they're saying that there'd be like a weighting system whereby, like, if somebody is what they're calling a skilled spectator, would have a greater impact on the vote. So it's not even like fair.
Scientologist is going to be able to kick players from my chat.
Basically,
is that what they're saying?
He could kick you like as you're playing, which.
So if it's the four of us, the four of us are playing against each other, and then we'll start getting messages from.
But then, also according to this, it says spectators would also be able to pay money to remove a player, and using either real money, in-game currency, or cryptocurrency.
Right. So, remember, this is all off a patent. This there's no way they're going to do this.
No,
this is the worst idea I've ever heard.
It's also because, as they say on Eurogamer, it's like the whole thing is based on increasing negative feedback, like online, which doesn't sound like a great idea.
Asking for, There's no way this is happening. This is a bullshit story. This should have gone in Farley's fantasy zone, if anything.
Would I let our listeners call me a cunt if I got a tenner every time?
I mean, I would. They do it for free at the moment.
It depends on which crypto they're offering. You know, which version.
Go on.
Okay, Bong, Xbox adds Twitch streaming integration.
Wow, you already don't care, do you?
The format of the Bong has gone out the window, isn't it?
I did it first there. What's wrong with that?
He's working on it. We're trying things out. It's fun.
Okay. Bong, Xbox adds Twitch streaming integration. So Microsoft have finally added like better Twitch integration to Xbox. So if you're an insider, like on the beta program, then you can now go to the live stream, like to the capture and share tab, and you can choose live streaming. And if you've linked a Twitch account, then you can just click go live, and it will go live. So that's good. I mean, they brought this back. Presumably, it's to switch out. Well, Mixer was there before, where you could do that, and now you can do it on Twitch, which is good. But there's still no overlay options, like not text and all that, which I still think is really shit. Like not having that, because that is.
I'd still love to know what the business agreement is over this. Like, have Twitch paid for them to do this? Microsoft have shown no interest in supporting this stuff? I don't think they're suddenly showing support for it because they want it on their platform. I've just got it's the absolute
bare minimum support.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
hopefully
And,
it's the start of something good.
I'd be really interested to see if they fix the audio issue, because currently, if you're streaming from your Xbox, the voice audio is out of sync with the video, and it is infuriating. Right. Yeah, and it's still like that. So I want to know how much work is going in from Microsoft and how much work's going in from Twitch to make this happen, because I've just got a feeling Microsoft aren't asked. They can't be bothered.
Could have been worse. I mean, they could have just made it like Facebook Gaming as like the default or whatever, but they haven't done that, so that's not so bad.
That's interesting. What's happened with that? What's the latest with that service?
Well, it's still loads of people use it, obviously. I mean, it's still massive.
But don't Microsoft... They
have a partnership. Yeah, they have a partnership with them, but I don't think it's...
Yet they're sticking Twitch on it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is odd, but yeah, really strange. Bong, Nintendo Switches... I'm not going to do this anymore. It's shit, isn't it? I'm not going to do this anymore.
It's brilliant.
4 stories, that's all it took to break him.
Didn't work. Anyway, so Nintendo Switch Online has come out, like the expansion pack.
Oh yeah, fantastic! I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
it all goes swimmingly, did it, James?
We got the N64 games, we got some Mega Drive games, but unfortunately, it seems that the N64 games are having a few issues. Yeah. So, do you want to hear what some of the issues are? Because some of these are quite funny.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Mario Kart 64. If you try to save ghost data, like in the game for tracks and stuff like that, it flashes up and says that you need an N64 controller pack, to save the game.
Amazing, that is so good.
Which is pretty funny. So,
do you need a rumble pack as well? Have you got to put that on your sort of somehow force it into the slot on the Switch?
But yeah, it hasn't got the save game controller.
Could you imagine? You know what? That's the most Nintendo thing ever. If they said, these games do not support HD Rumble, but you can buy a USB-C to Rumble pack converter for 30 quid. You have it dangling off the bottom of the Switch while you play.
Not just that, no, they could re-release those memory stick cards as well, like the controller memory cards, and just say, you got to save games on this. It's terrible.
Be all over that.
So there was that. Sin and Punishment's controls have been really badly mapped, so that it makes it really difficult to play.
That's a point. What are the slots like on the Bluetooth ones?
That I don't know.
Have we seen that?
Yeah, no idea.
I wonder what the slot is. It just like an empty?
Yeah, because surely surely they don't do anything. So yeah,
it's just like a grey bit of plastic over where the thing would be. Okay, all right.
So if you want to play the Rumble version of Mario 64, then you've got to change your region to Japan, right? So that works.
What?
Okay, so you know that there's been several versions of Mario 64 have come out, and one of them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was they did like a rebuilt version slightly of it for the Japanese market that had included Rumble support, and so the ROM for that, if you want to play that, then you have to change your region to Japan so that you get the Rumble. That's one thing.
Okay.
Also, I mean, people have obviously been posting videos of like graphical glitches, lag, and just audio issues and stuff like that. There's like comparisons between like the Wii U versions of these games and like the Switch ones and how it looks.
What game? I've seen the transparency.
Hold on, Matt.
No. We're not going to say this. I'm not going to say this because I was thinking about this earlier today
on Twitter. Which one went viral? Which game went viral, James?
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, he nailed it. He nailed it first time that time. That might be the first time.
Yeah, so that's had problems. And I've seen quite a lot of problems with those.
Yeah, it's like it can't do transparency.
Yeah.
That's basically it. It's very, very strange.
For Christ's sake.
But also stuff like people's swords disappearing and stuff like that, and just weird things.
I've seen like some of his videos where some of the ones that have really banged on Twitter and like Mario Kart and all sorts of things, it's just like a laggy mess, and then people say no, it's because your connection's rubbish, and other people are like no, mine's fine. But so is it down to connection or what? Or are people experiencing these issues even without a connection issue?
Well, you see, some people are experiencing. I was going to say like the online is obviously pretty broken as well. Like that doesn't work for most of the games that people are trying to play. But even like if it's not online, it's like there's still problems with a lot of these games. Like they don't look great, and they seem to have like audio lag and controller input lag as well, which isn't good. So just in general, it just feels like it's the typical Nintendo thing of made absolutely no effort whatsoever.
The internet lag. I mean, essentially, you're buying this to play it online. It's laggy as hell. It's a total fucking mess. I said to James, if you bought the expansion pack, because I'm on your family thing, I will give you the difference. I want my money back, James. I want a refund.
Haven't sent it to me yet, that's fine.
I haven't sent it to you yet because I'm skint, but I will give it to you and then ask for my money back. How about that? It's absolutely shocking. And here was the other thing. This is a totally separate issue, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think. The Animal Crossing expansion is not out yet, right?
No, 5th of November, I think that is.
Yeah.
Right, 5th of November. So James has got the expansion pack. I'm on his family thing.
Mm-hmm.
Harry is the leader on my island. Do I get that expansion pack for Animal Crossing?
He'll definitely get it. But then, as I said in our conversation about this morning...
How will he get it?
No, because he's the lead on the island. Oh, no, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's not. He hasn't got the expansion pack.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he hasn't got Switch Online. So, is it enough that one person on the Switch has it?
If I log on and start, seeing the extra content, does he log on and that's all closed off? Also, what happens if you buy the expansion pack and then don't resub? Do they have closed labels over the place? The bits of your island disappear.
No. It just means you can't go there. But any stuff that you've brought back from those islands, you get to keep.
Right.
They clarified that.
Fine. But what about the coffee shop? The coffee shop just vanishes.
No, the coffee shop's part of the expansion. That's part of the
free update.
Yeah, it's part of the free update.
Oh, that's the free. Oh, right. Okay, I'm with you.
I guess you're asking all these questions. Not even Nintendo knows the answers to these questions.
We haven't tested that yet. Sorry. I mean, I guess the better question is: can Harry play the SNES games and N64 games and stuff?
Well, he hasn't been able to play the SNES games. He just logs in as me when he wants to. Do
really?
those.
Oh God, that means he.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, but that
Which is fine,
doesn't
because
really
I
answer the question
really
of
play
Animal
them
Crossing
anyway.
because you're also on the island. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to see if I've got a spare slot.
Why don't you just buy a family account, Dave?
No, you don't.
Yeah, for you
James
and
is
your
adopting
family.
my son. Yeah, it's true. I don't know. James offered, and I thought, okay. But I don't know, man. This whole thing's a bit of a mess.
He offered to me,
Also,
and I was
you're
part of
asking
the family. But then I thought, I think when me and Elodie needed to play Minecraft, she needed her own account, so I just created her own Nintendo account and bought family account because it was going to be a nightmare otherwise if I had to do it through James's family. So I had to sadly depart
you broke
the
away.
family.
You disowned James Farley.
I divorced my parents and we went our own separate ways. Sadly,
Said you're not my real dad.
Sadly, it has to happen.
Yeah, that was a sad day. But
I mean, the other thing that I
it's sad, but it has to happen. How many times have you said that, James? I wonder. Come on.
I mean, the other thing that's funny about this as well. I mean, I loaded this up this morning, and I'm just really. I mean, you look at the list, before the lists of these games came out, and you just think, it's right. But you load them up, and it is really disappointing as well. Just like the game, the selection they've launched with is rubbish.
I can't believe that. I suppose they had to have Mario 64 on there, but at the same time, we played that last year as part of the All-Star Collection and hated it then. So it's Mario 64 again.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a quick go on it today, and for years I've been one of those people who's like, no, Mario 64 hasn't aged today, it's fucking it's aged.
No, it's terrible now, honestly. I mean, okay, it's not terrible, but it's not
Perry,
good.
Don't get me wrong.
Perry,
go on to me.
Dave Perry could have fucked up on any other game and it would have haunted him less. He fucked up on the one game that gets re-released every week. Do you know what I mean? Constant reminder to his GamesMaster failure.
But no, it's a shame. It's I hope that they get these the new stuff out reasonably quickly, which I know is a ridiculous thing to expect from Nintendo because it's probably going to be 2 or 3 months down the line until they add anything new, and it's just. I mean, why, for the Mega Drive stuff, why just put in Sonic 2? Where's Sonic 1? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. And as well, that they're never, ever going to add Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles to this. because that never gets added to anything, because of whatever issues
Did you
they've got
also
with
find it funny that you had to go to a completely separate part of the store to download the Mega Drive one?
Yep.
Like, you go to, like, expansion pass benefits, and it's like, SNES, NES, N64. And I was like, right, okay, where's the Mega Drive stuff? And then you had to come out and then go to a completely different area to find the Mega Drive stuff, and then go to that and download that. It was like they were ashamed of it. Or they were just mugging Sega off.
Not as good, is it? I mean,
No.
Gunstar Heroes is nice to have, but again, I don't know.
it gets
it's
released
a
all the
bunch of
time
stuff.
on everything,
Yeah.
doesn't it? It's just, it's just disappointing.
Yep.
So I don't know, shame.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyway, Sir Trevor McDonald is the Games Master.
Bong.
Absolutely
choice.
inspired choice. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the quote of what he said?
It couldn't have picked better.
Absolutely.
He said, "I'm delighted."
What he said. Do you want to hear the quote, what he said, Sean? Yes, we do.
He said, "I'm delighted to be taking on this iconic role for a new generation of viewers."
Okay, all right. That's very Trevor
Cool.
McDonald, isn't it?
Short and sweet, yeah.
But what's Trevor McDonald going to do? Because he's not going to give tips out. It'd be ridiculous.
But yeah, he's like, right, here's my top Warzone strats or whatever. How's it going to work? Because cheats aren't a thing anymore.
I'm hoping he's going to sit there and just give out sass to like people that are playing. That's what I'm thinking.
If you go to X Sniper XX2B, you can download an illegal mod and have auto aimbot on for PUBG.
Or like people ask him like how to do a bit in a game, and they're just like, right, hang on a minute. All right, I've just Googled it, and on Eurogamer it says, hang on, I just need to scroll past. Let me just scroll past 3-4 paragraphs. Here we go. Says it.
Maybe he'll just
do you know
recommend
what?
paid DLC. For everything.
What if he just goes game FAQs and that's his answer to every one of those questions? Once a week, I'd be in for that. Once a week, he just says game FAQs at the end of the question, and then that's it. That's all he does in the show.
Maybe he started
idea.
writing all the FAQs. He started writing his own, and he's like, "Well, if you just
he reveals it.
Just go on the website, mate. If you have a look on there, I've already written guides." But
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's a good choice. I didn't know who to go choose for this, but I'm pleased with the choice, and it'd be interesting to see how this fits into whatever the new show is going to be like.
We did not get a reply to our offer for taking part on the show. Just to be clear, we are not currently planned to be on GamesMaster. Shame.
And we can't say even if we were because we signed NDAs, but what Dave's saying is true.
Good point.
Until you hear otherwise.
Yeah. If it was a special appearance, we would say that, wouldn't we, Matt?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to meet Sir. I mean, I can't wait to watch the show when it airs on TV.
True.
Very true. James,
Bong.
that's your cue.
Wow, James.
What
Read
is
the
happening?
room. We gave you about 8.
Oh, for
chances
fuck! I was on mute again. I was on mute, and I was even.
Why has this started again?
Well, like mid-conversation, Eden.
Yes, I was mid-conversation because I just
lost interest.
No, it's not that. No, it's just
Wandered
because
off.
I didn't want to. My chair's creaking, and I just thought I don't want to get abuse for that, and I just thought I'd just mute it for a second.
Is still his intro is still reverberating off the walls. It's floating around that room.
It's all those bongs.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to hear about Charles Martinet?
Love that, didn't he?
Always. Always.
Okay, so anyway, he was asked at an expo about his future as Mario, because obviously, he's not in the Mario film as such as Mario, it seems, because Chris Pratt's doing it. And this is what he said. He said, "I want to voice Mario until I drop dead. If someday I think," he says, if someday I think I'm no longer capable of doing it, I will tell Nintendo to look into finding someone else. I hope there will still be Mario after I'm gone." Anyways.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure Mario will still be around.
Charles, mate. I love Charles Martinet. I do. But Mario's good. They're not going to hang Mario. But, sorry, guys, no more Mario games.
He's
E3,
gone.
please
gone.
understand.
Run its
Yeah,
course.
as soon as Charles
Mario
dies, they will have to retire the M hat.
Yeah. I could still have Cappy, though. That's different.
Definitely.
Yeah, very different. Yeah.
Go on.
And then he said, he says, anyways, there are over 5 million audio files of me voicing Mario. I go into the studio and record 45 takes of every sound I can think of. So I'm not going
Whether
anywhere.
they ask me to or
Every
not.
sound, yeah. That's great.
So I'm not going anywhere for a long time. So yeah, it's...
I'm not being funny, but I have to think of this. How many times do they need him to come in and say wahoo? It can't be like, no, we got it, Charles. Yeah. We got it the past 400 times you've said it. You don't need to come in again and do wahoo.
Well, maybe they want lossless. Maybe they want like better quality every time. Yeah. Like we only record in 48.
Control-C, Control-V it, mate. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You stay at home. No, I come in. Okay, Charles, that's just not now. We're really busy.
There's like loads of different like recording engineers who've had to do this with him, and do they all talk to each other and compare notes on how to get the best wahoo?
I bet there's a WhatsApp group.
Do you reckon?
Every engineer's had to deal with Martinet.
I hate shitting on Charles Martinet because I love him, but at the same time, this stuff is a little bit weird.
Quite funny.
Okay.
I mean, I really want to hear some of those sounds that any sound he can think of. He's done that as Mario. I mean, 5 million. There's a lot more than just the, U-rated dialogue we're hearing.
I was going to say, he's
surely.
definitely done swear words.
He's probably thinking, like, what if Mario does have like a darker side? So I should probably, start swearing just in case they need to use that. What if there's,
That's true, yeah.
We had Shadow Sonic. Maybe it might be like an evil Mario. So it's probably best now
Mario,
that I start swearing.
So you reckon he's recorded some real filth, like over the years?
Yeah, just in case.
No, he has. And like Ian told us about how he was slagging off the government and stuff on one recording there to get rid of it.
Every sound he can think of, he does 45 to every sound. Just think
this
about
isn't news, though, is it? Man says that he wants to continue saying wahoo for thousands and thousands of dollars for as long as he possibly can. That is not a news story.
It's a real shock.
It's not news.
Do you think he should have gone in the fantasy zone instead? Oh.
Do you know how the story ends?
Well,
we will definitely, I think, get to a point where, I don't know how long it'll take, but there will be stories of some legal dispute, I guarantee it, between Martinet and Nintendo. There'll be like a comment or someone saying, I voiced him for 25 years. I am the voice of Mario. There'll be like IP dispute. There'll be this will not end just like, oh, you know what? They said no. And
I was going to say, like, if the world sees fit to change the voice of fucking Solid Snake, it can definitely change the voice of Mario. like that is potentially a thing. What if his voice starts? He's not going to be able to hit those.
Wait. Changing the voice of Solid Snake is not as big as changing the voice of Mario.
No,
yeah, it is.
No,
it's
not,
not,
mate.
Any fucker can do the wahoos.
No,
yeah, but the same person's
way.
been doing it from day one.
Chris Pratt's going to be doing the wahoos, is he? You reckon?
Yeah, big time.
Better than the yippies.
Okay,
but like the Metal Gear Solid series, like David Hayter's performance of Snake is like absolutely integral to like what people loved about those games. And then when they just swapped him for fucking Kiefer Sutherland, it was like, whoa. I mean, as it turned out, there were capital R reasons, but it was still, I don't know. I thought it was really shit. The point is,
changing the voice in Mario would be a bigger deal, I think.
Iconic performance, and they changed it.
Okay,
do you reckon? Because surely Martinet's not going to be able to keep hitting those high notes for the rest of his life.
Yeah, when's he going to get to the point where he's
going to go like Bob Dylan, and it's just like his voice is going to go croaky and fucked, and he's just going to
That's
crack
why
on.
he's recorded 5 million takes.
It's like when you reach a certain age, you think, is it worth me banking some of my sperm? That's what he's been doing with the wahoos. He's just like, this isn't going to last forever.
He's banking some of his voice sperm, isn't he?
This story for any possible laugh we could possibly get out of it. I think we should probably move on to
this episode's going to be called Voice Sperm.
Okay.
What, not Bong?
Well, that's on the list too.
Giving that up. It's rubbish. So there's a new Splinter Cell.
Disagree. Do it.
Bong. There's a new Splinter Cell in production. This is rubbish, this news, because it's just like there's going to be a new mainline game in the series. Nobody knows anything about it. Production's still early, and there's a small chance that there'll be an announcement next year. Like, it's just, I don't... It's just
this could have been a Fantasy Zone one, surely.
Well, if only we had someone who was
confirmed.
in charge of the news stories.
Well, no, because I only put stuff in the Fantasy Zone that isn't on like the major news sites, because otherwise it's not really fancy.
It's a hot tip.
Yeah.
Matt, how excited are you for someone that's never played a Splinter Cell game?
Yeah, I mean, this is a total non-story. But no, it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Non-story. I put this in for you, Matt. I actually put this in for you because I just thought if I don't
blame
put
me
it in,
because it's a shitty story with no substance whatsoever.
It's true. You can't have got Matt for this.
No, he loves a press release and he loves Splinter Cell. I thought it'd be like all over this.
This wasn't a press release,
No,
though, was
it's not a press release, James.
No,
it's
a report, according to this, but it's not really a report. But yeah,
okay. Let's move on. Is that it for the news?
No, I've got a couple of. These are just short ones. We got some delays. I mean, it will surprise nobody to know that Cyberpunk has been delayed to 2022 for PS5 and Xbox Series X.
No way! I really thought that was going to come out this year.
Yeah, they postponed it until 2022, but also The Witcher 3.
What a
update.
fucking mess! I really want to play that game. Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you still have a hankering to bother?
Yeah, I still really want to play it. I still like the idea of it, but I just want to play it where it's not like running at 3 frames a fucking second.
I think they have delayed this because obviously it originally did come out like so late in the year that everyone's like forgot about it. It came out over Christmas, and there's no kind of discussion about best games of the year because it just came out over a weird time of year. And they're like, well, we could do it again for this, or we could just put out at the start of the year, so there might actually be some discussion about it when they talk about the best games released that year. And also, I mean,
they better fucking fix a lot then, because I mean, if frame rate and visuals is on the list for the update, there's a hell of a lot that they need to look at. You know what I mean? There's the whole traffic stuff and the vanishing people and all the bugs and stuff.
But that stuff's been fixed, has it not?
Yeah, I think most of that stuff is
improved.
There's a YouTuber that tries every single update out, and he tries the known bugs from the previous ones, and a lot of them still remain. The quest stuff seems to have been fixed, where sometimes quests are not marked as complete. But things like, characters disappearing as they're running away and cars disappearing when you turn your back on them, stuff like that, that's still in there.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
I reinstalled it
ridiculous.
yesterday. Just I don't know why. It's a thing I seem to do occasionally, and then I'll play it for 10 minutes and just be like, well, this probably is a bit better, but I'd still rather just wait until it's definitely 100% not being worked on anymore.
Until everyone starts going, no, this is actually good now.
Yeah.
That's when I'll jump on.
Yeah.
So next-gen version has been delayed to the first quarter of 2022. If we think, okay, it might take a few patches for even that version to be hunky-dory, we're basically looking at next Christmas until this game will be properly ready to go.
See, the other thing is they've also said that The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt's been postponed until later in that year, but why are they bothering to re-release that? Does anyone really care at this stage? Because it's come out on everything and been out for ages.
I think it will do. Skyrim's been going for God knows how long.
And also the Netflix series always brings new people into it. People want to, there's a game based on a Netflix show. Is there? Fantastic.
I'd rather they just spent
James,
more time on a new version.
With your cynicism.
Like a new
I know,
Witcher,
but it's not a like for like, is it?
What do you mean?
Making a new one is much harder.
Well, obviously.
They need to sound on new consoles, new TV series. This makes total sense.
Switch Advance
You
Wars.
tried.
Switch Advance Wars remake has been delayed into 2022. So that was supposed to be...
forgot that was even coming out this year.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3rd of December, but it says the game just needs a little more time for fine-tuning, according to Nintendo.
Okay.
Fine-tuning?
Yeah.
It was already fine-tuned.
I know.
It's the most fine-tuned game I think I've ever played. But there you go.
And then the final one is that Konami have delayed the first update to eFootball. And they said this is to ensure the experience is improved for all our users. So does that mean that previously it was not? It was only for a couple of people or something? It's just really strange.
No, I don't even think it's for a couple of people. I think everyone shat on that game from a great height.
Yeah.
So, they realise they've got more to do, which, again, comes as no surprise.
This is good. Like it'll be even worse to put out a shitty patch for a shitty game. At least a later patch to try and make substantial improvements. This was good.
Cool.
I'm sure this game will get there in the end.
That's it. That's all the news.
Let's get to what you've been playing. I'll go first. I've barely played anything. Played a little bit more Deathloop, but not much to report about that. I'm getting a little bit not tired of it, but I want it to push forward a little bit now, and it seems to be reluctant to do that.
Really?
So, yeah.
What,
I've been doing a little bit of exploring and stuff, which has been quite fun. Discovered a few things, but at the same time, I get like this. It's nothing to do with the game. It's more that I don't really like stealth. So, getting to the point now where there are more enemies.
Yeah, I mean, James did not play it stealth at all. I mean, I did. James apparently went guns blazing.
James, we had a discussion about it in the week about one particular mission that went wrong, and you were like, "Yeah, you need to crack in there without being seen."
Yeah, there's that one. But you could do it without doing that. It would be possible, but it would be much more difficult. But in general, that's one of the only parts of the game where I found that I had to do that. Like, seriously.
Yeah, exactly. So you do have to do it.
Yes, but it's not. You don't have to do that for most of the game, David.
Okay,
it's not a binary decision here. It's not one or the other. It's like, there are different options as throughout the whole game.
Yeah, that's the bit that I'm doing at the moment, and I'm finding it a little bit tedious. But that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to push through. It's just weird. I'm playing it at a slow pace. I'm doing like 1 or 2 bits, every session, and then moving on. Whereas really I should sit down for 3 hours, but I'm not compelled to sit down for 3 hours. So, but I'm enjoying what I'm playing. It's not a bad game at all. But
so out of all your kind of clues and whatnot, have you just basically got one left, and it's this one section that you're finding a bit more of a ball ache? And there must be loads of other things you can go away and learn
there's a couple of bits, like I was trying to find the fireworks the other day, like where they're being held, but it wasn't very clear where everything was. Some of the markers are a bit annoying, where it's like, some of them, they're like, go here, do this, brilliant, perfect, lovely, right? Some of them are like, there's a marker here, look around. And it's like, all right, fine, but at the same time, you're asking me to look for a little clipboard that's on a table somewhere, and that could be anywhere in this warehouse. That's really annoying. So yeah, that sort of stuff. I don't think it's bad game design, and it's not a direct criticism, but it just means I'm less likely to carry on playing. Like, it hasn't got that, I need to play the next bit. Like, it hasn't got that effect on me yet. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I think I've only got 2 more visionaries to kill before I've killed them all at least once. But yeah, there's still lots of clues and bits and pieces that I need to find.
Yeah, and then you'll do them again for like upgrades on the slabs and whatnot.
Oh God, does it make you do that?
No,
you got to do the same bits again.
No,
it doesn't make you. And also, if you see Juliana, she might, if you kill her in a map, she may well end up giving you an upgrade for a slab you've already got without having to kill that visionary twice.
Right. I've killed her once and she gave me fuck all, really. But okay, fine.
Yeah, that's how I got most of my upgrades, actually, by killing her.
Yeah, same here. I didn't do the visionaries multiple times. Only a couple of them I did that way. Most of them, I got them through Juliana instead. I finished this over the weekend as well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was the last mission good?
I was a bit annoyed, actually, because I'd stopped playing it for a while, and because we'd gone away, and like if I don't play for something for like sort of 2 weeks or so, I hate going back. I mean, I still need to go back to Psychonauts 2, because that I also didn't finish. And
yeah, I've got that on my list too.
And it's one of those things, isn't it, where you just think, I have to go back and remember how the whole things work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying.
It's just a bit annoying. So I was kind of psyching myself up for this, because I'd already tried like the final run like twice, I think, and failed like both times. This time I tried it a different way, and it worked perfectly. And then the game crashed just as I took down the last visionary, which really annoyed me, because I was just like, that's so annoying. It's the second time that's happened. And then, I mean, fortunately, when I restarted it, it had started me at the right point anyway, so I hadn't lost a huge amount. And then I went on and finished it.
Oh, that's good.
But I overall really enjoyed the game, but despite the crashes, which were very, very irritating. And
yeah, I've had a couple of moments where I've turned it off, and it's updated, and it's put me at the segment before that I've just done. Even though I escaped and got to the main menu, it didn't save that little bit of the game, and that was a bit frustrating, but whatever. I mean, I'm still enjoying it, and I will complete that game. I'm going to keep playing it. So that's probably it for Deathloop. You've all got Metroid Dread written down.
Yes.
Sean, you should probably start, because you've not been here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously, I'll try and sort of talk around it without repeating anything you guys have said, but I am absolutely blown away by it. I really wasn't sure what to expect with this being, from Mercury Steam. Like I said a few weeks ago, I recently tried their 2.5D Castlevania game, Mirror of Fate. I really didn't like it. Specifically, just didn't like the way the controls felt. But oh my god, I mean, this is like 10 years on from that, right? So it was silly to even expect any sort of correlation between the two. But holy shit, this couldn't feel any more different. It's unbelievable. Like the general sort of flow of it is very strange. I think a lot of people who've gone in just expecting like a standard Metroidvania have gotten quite sort of irked by the ME stuff. But I don't know, I was all right with that. Like it's doing something a little bit different, and it's very careful about how it does it as well. I think the fact that you do spend, like, certainly initially, there's a lot of, you're sort of going in and out of these ME zones where they can, find you and kill you instantly. But it's very much like Matt was saying, like, yeah, you're going into an ME zone, you've got to get out a different way than you went in, or like find a new exit from it to, explore more of the map. And it is like really stressful and confusing at first. But then you do sort of eventually get into a bit of a rhythm with it, and you sort of, like, even though, like, the game goes out of its way to tell you, like, repeatedly, like, you can't fight them, don't try and fight them, it's fucking pointless. Which initially is sort of really sort of disheartening, but then after a bit, it's like, it's sort of liberating, because you're just like, yeah, my goal is to just get through this area without getting killed, and then that is progress. And you sort of get into the swing of that, and then you eventually, you sort of start sort of not routinely taking them down, but it becomes like a fairly regular deal. But like, and without spoiling anything, the game knows when they are beginning to outstay their welcome, I think, and does some really clever stuff with how they're sort of paced. So that's all been fascinating. I mean, everything you guys have said about like Samus's sort of move set in general, just absolutely stunning. The sort of the way you just like fucking parkouring around some of the areas and stuff. It just feels so good. The way she like comes across, like, both sort of, in the game in general, but like in the cutscenes and stuff. I mean, and this is me speaking as like a big purist who didn't like it when they added like some dialogue in Metroid Fusion. There's like all these cutscenes where, okay, there's not much dialogue, but it's like, Samus is just cool as fuck. Why has she never been cool before? Like, what? Like, why is this like the first Metroid game I'm playing, and I'm going, oh my god, Samus Aran is a fucking like galaxy famous bounty hunter. Of course she is. Like, look at like what a fucking pro she is. Like, it's really strange. Just so many like amazing touches in the animation and stuff. Because like I say, like, she never talks, you barely see her face, and yet, like, they communicate so much with like her body language and like the way she reacts to things. It's beautifully done.
Yeah, you barely see it. So like, even those moments where you kind of see through the visor and see her eyes, it's like, oh, amazing. And she's such a badass. Just the way she's like killing bosses, and like even like the way the camera angles are shown you versus a boss in certain cutscenes. Yeah, she's just awesome.
Yeah, man. And like, so I haven't finished it. I've reached the final boss and got absolutely fucking eviscerated. So then now I'm going back and I'm getting all the secrets, which are basically another game in and of themselves. Like Matt, you were saying last week, the sort of the puzzles around smashing some of the speed blocks. They're so good. Like, they're absolutely fascinating. Like, I was going around getting secrets. Every time I found like an awkward speed block, and I'd look at it and just be like, well, I don't know, how am I supposed to, hit that with, my super, my speed boost charged up. Like, it's fucking impossible. And I would just walk away and leave them. And now I'm just going back and just thinking about it methodically. And they're so satisfying and so well designed. Like, the fact they're just sort of really clever puzzles, but also, like, take quite a bit of skill to actually pull them off as well. And you'll like the way you have to sort of look and be like, right, here's some speed blocks that I need to destroy, and then having to sort of walk backwards through what you're going to do to reach them with the speed boost, and you're going like sort of 3-4 rooms away in some cases, and so I'm thinking, okay, so if I start running here and then jump off this and then run through this door, vault over this, jump up here, fall down here, do this, do that, and it's insane, but it's one of those brilliant things in a game where you just like, this all just makes sense to my head now. I've been like reprogrammed to just understand this sort of, this sort of visual language of how the world works and how the movement works with the speed boost system and stuff. It's absolutely fascinating. I mean, like I'm going to try and 100% it purely because, like, not even just for the sake of ticking the box, but just because I'm enjoying every single puzzle so much. That I don't really want it to end. Like I'm not really interested in doing the final boss just yet.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. I got to the final boss, and then I was also worried, because I heard some people struggling on it. And so I don't really want to struggle. I might just go back and get a couple of extra upgrades, and then I was enjoying that. And you're totally right, Sean. It feels like a whole different side to the game. It feels like there's one side where you're in the playing the game and learning about the MEs and then working and reaching different areas, and then you get the huge bosses. That's another side. And then when I got to the last boss, I was like, no, I'm going to do the secrets, and and yeah, they're so satisfying. And at first they seem impossible. Like, how can I possibly even get there? As Sean said, that's 3 rooms away. You got to go up or down, like various platforms. Like, how do I even store my speed boost, my my shine spark? But you do eventually get it, and it's so satisfying. Yeah, and that's what I did. Yeah, I went back and 100%ed it. I wasn't going to originally at first, and then once I'd done one area, I was like, that's so satisfying, I'll keep doing it. So in the end, and I also didn't want the game to end, so I went through and 100%ed it, and then went back to the final boss. And it's such an amazing part of the game, because also by that point you've got all the abilities, all the skills, how things work. You can go into new areas to blast everyone away, and actually it feels like it's much more. It actually feels more isolating than it did when you first got there to the planet, because now it's just no one else. You're not really bothered about any of the other enemies because you can destroy them in 2 seconds.
Tearing through everything.
It's really just about you going around collecting everything before you go to the final boss.
I think it's that sort of, in terms of that transition from just like, well, this is fucking impossible, to, oh my god, like I'm fucking seeing the Matrix now. I get it. It reminds me of The Witness more than anything else. That's how good these puzzles are to me. Like it's absolutely astonishing. I will say, the music is shit.
It's
absolutely
bad,
atrocious. It's so
it's completely
bad.
Forgettable, and not very integral to the experience.
Missed opportunity.
That was a wild turn. I did not expect that to come out.
I mean, it's you can basically ignore it, but occasionally you sort of tune into it. And it's like, what the fuck is this? It's awful. it's really bad. Like I'm not just like,
when was the last time you played a game like that? Where you realised, well, it's just annoying. What?
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like, it's not it's not my sort of thing, or it's not quite up to the series standard. It's legitimately bad.
Yeah. It's like you'll be playing and you'll be sitting there just thinking, what is this shit? That's going on here.
So unlike even Super Metroid, like where most of that music was amazing and really memorable, there's nothing on here. But there was like one track I liked, or a couple of tracks where it felt like it's very it sounded like the music in a shrine from Breath of the Wild. I'm not sure if it's in like the forestry area, but I thought that was a good track. And actually, I was kind of saving the game and closing the game and reopening it to see like my game clock. And when you do that, and then when you go to a new area, also when you go back into the game and you're in that kind of the save area, you hear like the classic Metroid like sound, which you don't hear unless you would exit the game and come back into it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There are some really cool moments, like with like some of the sound effects and the soundtrack and stuff, but it's all nods to previous Metroid games, mainly Super Metroid. Like there's a bit where there's some exposition, and it starts just using some of the music from Super Metroid, but like obviously like redone. not just literally sampling the SNES one. But and it's cool as fuck. But obviously that's kind of sad, isn't it? That's the only they're the only good bits of the soundtrack where it's just like, hey, remember this? It's just a shame that they didn't manage to come up with anything even close.
It is
the older ones.
The only sort of weak thing that I'd say in the whole experience.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, how have you felt about the boss encounters? Because the last one, it did take me quite a few attempts, well, many, many, many attempts before I beat the final boss. But I finished it last week as well, and I by the time it was another one of those bosses where once I'd figured it out, actually it's not very hard. It's just you have to learn all the patterns and things like that, and it's absolutely fine. But and I found most of the bosses to be like that. I didn't feel frustrated really with that many of them.
There's certainly, there's been a lot of talk about how hard the game is, and there's some bosses have given me some trouble. But as you say, there's usually a trick to it, usually involving like the most recent ability you got. They go from seeming impossible to like, oh, actually, this is pretty. Like once you learn the patterns and where to use your abilities and stuff, they're usually pretty straightforward. And the fucking again, the cutscenes are really cool. Like when you do the counters and stuff, it's a bit shit that those counters are basically essential because. So for those who haven't played it, you'd be fighting a boss, and then occasionally they'll do an attack, which it sort of indicates you can parry, right? And if you do, that basically puts you like in a sort of semi-interactive cutscene where you can do a shitload of damage. So I think you can kill them without, but it would take you like 5 times as long. So I don't know. Maybe there's a bit too much emphasis on those. Like if you don't hit those, you're basically not going to do the boss. But they are very cool. The fact that you still, as I say, you don't really have control over what Samus is doing, but you've still got control over like the fire button. Yeah. So she'll be like swinging around and grabbing onto enemies, or like just fucking pointing a gun in the enemy's mouth or whatever, and you'll just go just blasting.
I remember that. And just
which is incredibly good fun. I fucking love it. I'm so surprised by this. In the best way possible. I absolutely love it, and it's kind of a shame because obviously Axiom Verge 2 came out this year, which I think James and I both really enjoyed.
Yeah, but it's not the same level as this. It's really not.
It's not close.
Which is why I was really shocked because I really was expecting this not to be great. It ended up just being superb. It's really good.
So that's it. I've just spent Metroid. All the time I've been off. I've basically just been playing that.
Did you say you finished it?
No, so I'm at the final boss, but now I'm going back and getting secrets and stuff.
Right, okay, gotcha. Okay, Matt, you're the only one with some games left on your list.
Yeah, but if it wasn't, I finished Metroid 100%. It is absolutely amazing. I've been playing Inscryption, which I know, Sean, you talked about before, and you streamed, and Sarah talked about it.
Sarah mentioned playing this,
right?
Yeah,
she did, yeah.
Yeah, have you mentioned it on the pod? You have you not, Sean?
I might not have, because I did, I did a stream of it, and I know that, Dave was asking if it was on YouTube. It isn't, because it was just me, literally, because it's when I'd been having streaming trouble the night before, and I'd sort of changed my setup. So I was like, I'll just stream something for half an hour. In fact, I nearly called the stream like, Matt, please don't put this on YouTube. It's just a test. So and I played a bit of the Inscryption demo for like half an hour, and it's fucking great. I mean, I've played a bit of the full game, but only barely sort of beyond like where the demo leads to. So I think you're probably much further than me, Matt.
Well, I've certainly played more. I don't know if I'm further.
Okay.
But yeah,
so it's a card-based game that does some interesting stuff outside of the card format, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's primarily a card-based game, but you start the game as someone, and you're playing against. You don't know who you're playing against. But you can see that their eyes, and there's like some. It feels sinister, but you're playing against a being, and you're playing this card game. We'll come back onto the card game in a minute, but you are also in this cabin where you can step away from the card game and look at things in the cabin, and there's kind of like mini puzzles within the cabin. Some people have said it's like escape room stuff. It kind of reminds me of The Room. But yeah, it's basically mini puzzles within the environment. And then you've also got the card game, but those puzzles in the environment, those will give you other cards and whatnot, which will help you in the actual card game. And I've been loving those bits. In fact, at the point now where I feel like I've solved all the puzzles in the cabin, and I wish there was more. I wish they kind of maybe kept. I would either reduce the amount I kind of accessed and were able to solve early on. Because I feel like I haven't done one of them in a while because I've sold everything I've got in the vicinity. But no, that's really cool. But then you actually get to sit down and play the card game. And the card game is, I mean, again, like Sarah's spoken about it and Sean streamed it, but it's a card game about animals and their abilities on these cards. So every card you see, it's got an animal. It's got the amount of like, it's got the amount of like energy they have. The amount of life they have, and also the amount of power they have in terms of attacks, and also there's some other abilities. You have like two groups of cards. You have a group of squirrels, which you always place a squirrel down first before you place other animals on top, and then you have like a deck of like special other animals, and those could be all sorts. It could be like, you know, elks. It could be like maggots in a skull. It could be cockroaches. Basically, there's loads of different animals with different abilities. But you start every round by placing down a squirrel, and then you find another animal that you put on top. Basically, the squirrels are there to be sacrificed, essentially. And certain animals, certain decks, some cards you can't put down unless you've like sacrifice 2 of your cards on the playing service, and it's basically about killing or getting rid of the enemy cards, and that there's like some scales next to you, and every hit you land on their board, you get like a weight put on their side, and I think it's like up to 8 hits essentially, and then you've won that round. And once you've done that, there is like a map that you kind of progress, and to basically. You basically play the game through the map. So you play the card game, and then it's like kind of 3D map appears, and you like move your character forward, and every every point on the map, you might either play a card game. There might be a boss battle. You might have the ability to combine some of your cards with other abilities. You might have an opportunity to get rid of one of your cards, or do some other cool stuff, or maybe even like meet someone who creates wooden sculptures, and those act as ways to add bonuses and extra abilities to your cards and how you play and whatnot.
What sort of bonuses?
So you'll meet someone, and you have as basically the option of collecting 3 other items. And you can't collect any more than 3, and out of those 3 you could collect anything from pliers, and that does something to you to aid you as you play, and then you can also get a knife. You get the ability to instantly kind of generate another squirrel, which is good if you want to place another card on the board. And there's loads of other cool little things. There's also like scissors if you want to like chop up one of the enemy's cards. There's a way to make the enemy miss their turn. So you got these abilities and the squirrels and these other things to try and basically beat your opponent. And I basically I love so much about this game. The only thing that's kind of tripping me up at the moment is I'm finding it quite difficult. I don't know how many bosses.
Of the actual card game or the stuff around it? I get the impression actually that all the stuff people have seen have been shown in kind of marketing materials. That's only like a very, very small portion of the game, and actually the game changes considerably. Maybe you go to new areas, I don't know. But I get from what everyone's saying, this is what you're seeing now is basically nothing compared to what the actual game's like.
That's the vibe I've been getting. There's been talk of like, people thinking they've finished the game like twice and they haven't and stuff, and it's all...
what's the obsession with that?
Why? I don't know. I don't know how it plays out in this, but there's just lots of really interesting sort of subversive stuff. So like a really early example, and this is right at the start, so it's not a spoiler. Like Matt's saying, so you put these squirrels down and then you sacrifice them to sort of get more powerful cards out, right? So you have like, and then so you summon this one card that's a stoat. Right, and you put him on the table. And you go, there you go. And then you want to summon like a wolf, right? So then you sacrifice like another squirrel and the stoat, because the stoat's not very good. And then literally, as you click on the stoat to sacrifice him, his like the writing at the top of his card where it just says stoat very clearly, like, just like for a split second, just changes to like, whoa, wait, hang on. Right? And you're like, oh, fuck, what just happened? What the fuck was that? Like, he's aware that you've just sacrificed him, basically. And that then sort of continues to develop in lots of, weird ways. So there's just tons of moments like that where you're just like, okay, I get it. This is a card game. I've got some items that help me. I've got, these units I can play, and I sacrifice some and I get others out, and right, cool, whatever. This is a perfectly fine card game. And then there's just little twists like that where you're just like, whoa, what the fuck? What was that? What just happened? Like,
and suddenly you're thinking about the game differently.
Yeah, and it's spooky, but it's not. I can't do horror stuff. It hasn't like thrown me off yet. It's certainly quite unnerving and quite grim, but it's too interesting to let the unnerviness get in the way.
Yeah,
you know
I heard this was scary, but it's just slightly unnerving. But like, I love the way it looks, and I think as Sarah mentioned, it's got the kind of look of early kind of PS1 style, kind of early 3D. Obviously, but it's obviously with a far higher quality of modern standards. But it's got that kind of semi-pixelated or low quality texture, early 3D game stuff. So it's really, really charming in how it looks, and all the cards look beautiful, and like the animations and whatnot. And and when like the cards start animating themselves and talking and stuff, it all looks gorgeous. Music's really, really, really atmospheric as well. So I think it looks.
What are you playing on, Matt?
It's PC and Mac, so I'm playing on PC.
So you're stepping into the world of PC gaming now, are you?
I don't know if I'm stepping into other PC gaming. That was the only place to play it. And this is
playing
not
Counter-Strike next week.
This is not a powerhouse PC. So this is one of few I probably can play.
You're going to buy back a mechanical keyboard?
This is technically a mechanical keyboard, the one I've got now.
There you go.
It's just
low profile.
No?
Exactly, yes.
Like
No profiles,
100% this will run on your Mac, Dave, if you want to try it.
Yeah,
and I think
it
you
doesn't need
probably
much.
should.
I don't think I do.
No? Okay.
But it sounds interesting. It sounds like
one of the cool things. So after you die, and you only have like 2 lives basically. When you die, the person you're playing against said, "Okay, well now I need to create a death card." And what they do for that, they basically take various attributes and abilities from the cards you still had remaining in your deck. So he'll say, "Okay," or they'll say, "Okay, I need to find an ability for your death card, choose it from one of your cards remaining, and now I need to find the cost of this card." And then basically do it 2 or 3 times, and then you get to choose the name of that card. So I've got like Dave card, Sean card, James card, and then Jill. I've actually kind of stopped. I've run out of like names now. I'm just naming them all sorts of stuff. But then those cards, those death cards, will appear.
What was the last one you named?
Well, I think I had bum and then bums, and then I'm running low. I've named all you lot family. I'm like, okay, what the hell do you know?
Times have you died,
I might just call them like 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. But
Imagine if you died. Let's just load up his save. Oh, boobs.
But it's really. But then you get them in your deck, and like, James, like the James the card appeared earlier. I was like, okay, amazing, because it's like really powerful cards, and it was like,
of course it is.
So that's quite cool to see. And even though like I said, I've loved the atmosphere. I loved kind of exploring this small cabin, solving little puzzles, because you get little clues about actually maybe you should do this, and certain moments happen and now enable you to actually now can solve the other puzzle in the cabin. All that stuff is really, really good. I've been thinking about it when I haven't been playing it. The only thing that's kind of like stopped me properly kind of head first loving it is the fact that I keep dying at the second boss. And although it is like a roguelike, I don't feel like the only progression I'm finding really between runs is my knowledge of how the game works and kind of tactics. You still start with like a basic deck. You are like learning new cards, but you still start with a basic deck. So if you get dealt a shit hand, then you just dealt a shit hand. Sometimes I've raced through the first area, killed the first boss, no trouble at all. And other times, maybe I placed the wrong card, or I just got unlucky, or I was waiting for something else and I've been absolutely rinsed. I've got to the second boss now and died. So I'm making progress slowly, but. Yeah, I'm finding it a bit more difficult, and also I feel like the puzzles within the cabin, which I was really enjoying, those are kind of dried up. I assume it's waiting for me to progress further in the card game before I get any more of that stuff. That's the only thing that's kind of like to keep me from loving it. But I'm still playing it, and I'm still thinking about it when I'm not playing it, which I think is a good sign.
Cool. I mean, that's always a good sign.
James, I'll only say this once. If you are ever going to enjoy one of these, this is probably the one.
You won't play it.
I know.
I saw a card game and immediately I was like,
It's got all your favourites. It's a roguelike. It's got deck building. It's fucking all the hits. It's operating on other levels at the same time, and it seems incredible.
I just wish it was operating on a level that wasn't a card game. That'd be nice.
James, come on.
Yeah, what's your problem? I don't think when I thought about it,
what is your problem?
I don't think I've ever played a card game like this before, so this is all new to me. But it's charming enough, James.
I don't think there's anything else quite like this. Obviously, there is no shortage of roguelike deck builders, and lots of them are really good. But yeah, this is something else entirely, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Anything else, Matt?
I played a little bit of Resident Evil 4 VR, which came out last week on Oculus Quest, which is...
Is this a little bit because you had no time or a little bit because you pooped your pants?
No, just because I started Inscryption before, and then I'm like, well, I basically want to play Inscryption more than Resi 4. I did actually intend. I thought, okay, I tell you what, I'll try and stream it, and then I spent hours one night thinking, okay, I'll just try and get it set up. And basically, my PC is not capable of both streaming and playing VR games. So sadly, that's out the window. But I thought, okay, last Saturday I was like, maybe I'll just try and stream it. It'd be cool to stream with some VR, but it didn't happen. And then other times I had the opportunity to play. I was wanting to play Inscryption, but no, they have remade Resident Evil 4 for VR, and I'm really, really impressed with what they've done. It's not just. It feels like they haven't just thrown VR into Resident Evil 4.
I watched a bit of gameplay about it, and and it seemed weird. There was some weird for the cutscenes. It just cuts away to like a cinema screen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I feel like that was the best way to do it. They obviously wasn't going to like totally redevelop the cutscenes from first person, but you can be in the middle of gameplay, and then when cutscene happens, you're basically suddenly the cutscene is just 2D in front of you, and you're
Is that not jarring?
No, not massively. I'm kind of used to it. What's more jarring actually isn't when you see proper cutscenes. I mean, at first you're like, oh no, it's a cutscene, but it's when you do kind of special moves like the big kicks or something. It does it, or if you go through a window, it does it through then. So it's good that it's quite quick. It's not like you're not waiting for loading. It's there's a bit where you have to jump through a window. You'll quickly kind of see. Your character go through the window not from VR, but just you'll see the view of that, and you'll go back into VR. It's not actually as jarring as it sounds, and I think it's probably.
I was going to say, to be fair, it's one of those things that when you hear it, you're like, no, I want to fucking crash through a window in first person in VR. That'd be so cool. No, wouldn't it? Probably make you feel sick. That's probably why they've done it.
Yeah. Also,
probably
it's just
tried
a bit jarring, isn't it? The only other thing that I got from the footage that I've seen of it is it incredibly easy, because a big part of Resident Evil 4 was that you plant your feet, you take aim. You know what I mean? And it's relatively difficult to aim and get headshots and stuff. Like, that was the thing. The ammo was so scarce, yet you really needed to make every bullet count. Whereas, like, in VR, aren't you just like point and shooting, like in other first-person shooter action games on the VR system?
I mean, remember there was the Wii version. But mind you, now that I think about it, people did say, it is quite a bit easier because you can just aim and get the headshots relatively
you find
easily.
It easy, Matt?
Yeah, I'm finding it easy. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I played. I played on GameCube, and I think I've actually played it once, and that was the GameCube version. It's way easier in that you just aim and you've got laser sight on your pistol and whatnot. But they can attack pretty quickly, and even in that first scene when you got all the villagers kind of the horde of villagers chasing around that little village area, but it's still way easier because you can see, you got laser sight. I'm only like an hour in. I'm not sure how much I'm going to play. It's cool to see it, and I loved it when I first played it ages ago on GameCube, and I think I'm really impressed with what they've done. It's not they haven't just basically banged it in VR and hope it would work. It feels like it's a remake of sorts. Like they really have made loads of cool changes, to make it work in VR. Like it's fun to fire weapons, and you basically to grab your knife, you just hold down trigger, reach to your chest, and then you can basically throw and use the knife and let go, and it flies back to your chest. When you see kind of ammo boxes and stuff around the environment, you quickly grab your knife from your chest, swing a couple of times, and then you basically go over to an item. You press the trigger once, and the item goes to you. That stuff feels really kind of intuitive and works really, really well, really, really, really quickly. You can have both full motion controls where there's no kind of 30-degree angle as you're like kind of changing from one bit to one angle to the next. You can have that for if you're quite sensitive to motion sickness, or you can have full kind of motion controls, which is really good. You can bomb around an environment really, really quickly. And I think detail wise, it's really, really, really fantastic. Like you have a watch on your wrist to look at health, and also you can see the time in real life. And obviously, you can holding the weapons up to it's really close as you can get. The level of detail in this is really, really excellent. I'm really, really impressed. Because obviously it's an old game, but I think whatever they've done, it does
really feel like that sort of a game that you'd boot up and go, oh yeah, this does work, but I ain't going to play the whole game like this.
I did think that.
But then also, I'm really surprised that Resident Evil is the game series that seems to have embraced VR more than any other. Like that is the series that's kind of like, no, VR, we're doing a lot of VR work. So it's pretty cool that someone's going for it,
Yeah, I mean, obviously that scary games in VR work so well. So in many regards, a game like Resident Evil would make sense. And then they tried, they had that kitchen demo.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have predicted it at the start, right?
No,
you wouldn't have predicted that was the game series that was going to try and embrace
what is great,
VR.
I mean, it was great for VR. Is that, Capcom were there very early on PSVR, saying let's create a kitchen demo, and then that worked out well. And then they did Resi 7, and now they're doing this, and this is a huge hit on Quest and works so well. It makes me think, okay, well they could easily. I mean, I say easily, obviously development and time and resources and stuff, but they could absolutely remake all the others in VR, and if it's this sort of quality, they've got 6-7 hits on their hands.
That first one in VR. Fuck doing that in VR with the dogs coming through the windows.
Oh god,
fuck that.
Yeah, I think that they prove they can absolutely do it, and it's interesting. But yeah, as I said, because Capcom are there early doors, I think this will also give other people hang on, maybe we could also potentially convert our games to VR. I'm really impressed.
Resident Evil 2 remake in VR. You're going to be running away from Mr. X.
Oh, fuck I'm not sure when we changed to VR. Maybe a bit much, but no, I'm really impressed. I mean, on one hand, I mean, I've got it, and maybe I'll play through bits, but also there's loads of other games to play. But even if there wasn't loads of other games to play, I don't know. I'm glad I've seen it, but to be honest, I haven't played as much as I'd like because I was playing Inscryption. But
at least Capcom are making the effort to convert things properly. That it's not like a Nintendo Online situation. It's just just bung it on there.
Yeah, they're not describing it as a Resident Evil experience, VR experience,
or saying please connect your GameCube controller and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, you can tell they've probably put time and effort and money into this, and it's selling so well on Quest. So excited to see what happens next with maybe some other Resident Evil games coming to VR later. Who knows?
Cool. All right, then. That's what we've been playing this week. Should we get to questions?
Yes, please. If you want to send us questions, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS. Did you know the proper name for a / is a solidus? First question comes from...
Fucking hell.
Bring on some more mince pies. It says, Matt, which do you prefer, Monkey Ball or Annapurna Interactive?
Annapurna. There's no contest there.
Okay.
Boom. That's it. Sega fan. Matt Murray.
James,
you've gone off brand there.
James, when are we going to get the annual kind of mince pies track?
Oh, you got to do a remix of that for the Christmas show.
Yeah, man.
Didn't think of that.
No. I'm thinking. I'm not thinking for the Christmas show. I'm thinking. Every year we have our traditions. We're like, hey, Mariah Carey's on. It's Christmas now, or you see the Coke advert. No, I want. When is that first annual playing of the mince pie song? So everyone knows it's Christmas. If you listen to TCGS, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, Matt, how hard is it to submit a single to Spotify?
It can't be that hard.
What if
You don't need a
it's
record
probably-
label anymore.
There's probably some
Record
sort
deal.
of issues around.
Is this? Are we
Using
looking
that
at a
song, right?
Christmas #1 campaign here? Is that what you?
I'm thinking remix that song.
Yeah.
James with his remix, his music skills that he's picked out throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a siren in there at the end of it. Like I'm thinking this could work.
So who sung the original? What's the origin?
James Farley, because no one else
It's
had
original
heard of it.
composition.
James, what's the history of that song?
I have no idea. It was just sung
He sang it at school, didn't he?
Yeah, they just sang it at school once.
And then when I googled it, I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
So if
my
anyone
God.
knows, please
Made
let us
up.
know.
Yeah, I'm thinking we get get it out, and then that's when people know it's Christmas.
100%. It's got to be better than the fucking another sausage roll song getting to number one, isn't it?
I've
Please.
I've
Right, okay.
I know, Dave, you've obviously already done this, but yeah, I've Googled bring on some more mince pies, and it's just giving me recipes for mince pies. No, that's not what. It wasn't a literal request.
Did you say bring on some more mince pies?
I didn't. Maybe that's where I've gone wrong.
I think I searched. Was it steamy warm? And I see what was that line?
Steaming hot and spicy.
Twice as many mince pies is twice as nice, or whatever it was.
Okay.
Right, next question comes from Dr. Dog, who says, all right, TCG essential vitamins and minerals. We played a little game tonight over the old Xbox party chat, which involved playing the first 5 minutes of a Game Pass game and then guessing how we think it scored on Metacritic. We did surprisingly well, to be fair, and our scores kind of indicated that you don't really need to have played the full game to get a vibe for our game or likely review, which got me thinking, why aren't you fuckers offering game reviews? I know there's the stigma of getting bogged down, feeling the need to complete games in order to offer a thorough and fair review of a game in its entirety, but you boys do bang through games, and I think... I'll start that again. But you boys do bang through games, and I think reviews would legitimise the TCGS brand in the wider gaming media world. Do you even class yourselves as games media? What do you class yourselves as? You don't have to take the review seriously, and you don't have to spend hours writing them up. You don't even have to agree. A 5-minute Farley special on Blink to Timesweeper would be the bees, along with a score tracker on the TCGS website. Just a thought. P.S. It took me a while, but I think I actually love Matt. He's great, isn't he? Love you, Matt.
Yeah, we love that.
Took me a while.
We love that. I've
me
actually
a
got
while.
Matt. I didn't tell you actually. Ian was texting me the other night saying how good your stream was.
Oh, thank you. Do you say it took him a while to enjoy it, but in the end,
I mean, yeah.
more of attrition.
There's a lot of work that you've just written down there. Why don't you do this lot of work? Like, because we've got no time, mate.
But
Yeah.
if we did this, I insist that we use percentages like magazines from the 90s.
Yeah, well, like, break it down to graphics.
It's like 73%.
effects.
You know, like it's just gone.
No, break it right down to where it's like 25 out of 25% for graphics,
Okay.
25% for sound
No,
effects.
it's got
that's
10
too-
categories.
gameplay.
That's too.
10 categories.
That's too
each
scientific.
10%.
You just give it
No,
like
it's got. Isn't it 4? Wasn't it 4 traditionally? Wasn't it graphics, sound effects,
longevity was one of them.
longevity, and gameplay?
Yeah.
They're the 4 you got to go for, and then add them together at the end.
No, you don't need to do that. You
What a
just
load
say like 76%. You know, and just that's what
The
you
thing
do.
is, like, longevity can go either way, though, because how many games have we talked about where we're like, oh, it was brilliant, it was only 2 hours long? Like,
yeah, longevity. Yeah, I've just Googled in quotation marks steamy, hot, and spicy, and then outside of those quotation marks, mince pies songs. And Google's just said to me, it looks like there aren't many great matches for your search, and it just gives me one link to a PDF called Street Food Around the World. So, James, I think we're going to be all right, mate. I think you're going to be all right with it.
Yeah.
You made this song up.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yes, we are not going to be reviewing games like that, and we see ourselves. I mean, actually, I see us as a fanzine. Like that's how I see this podcast. What do you guys? Where do you class? I don't see us as part of games media because we're not.
No, I just see it as a gaming. I don't see it as a founding. I just see it as a gaming podcast. We're not part of media.
I don't know. I mean, we get, we're
We're commenting on the media.
part of it enough that we get code for stuff. Guess that makes us
Yeah, but
part
we come
of it.
at everything with but not much. We don't get that much code.
No.
Like most of the games we talk about, we don't get code for. We actually buy.
Mhm.
I feel that we do come to it more from a consumer point of view than a insider point of view. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. And like the people that we do know in the actual games media, like they're just sort of people we've met over years and years and years. It's not like
they think we're pricks.
Yeah.
They think we're total pricks.
Yeah, they don't fucking like us.
Oh man, I've got some stories. I got some stories.
What, of us being pricks?
No, of people clearly thinking we're pricks. I remember very early on in the Joypod days meeting a few people within the games media who fucking hated us. I'm not going to be nasty and drop names, but yeah. I
mean, you're going to tell us
this week, actually.
Yeah.
100%, but you know the stories. Okay. You know them. Yeah. It'll be one of those ones where I say such and such, and you go, oh, yeah, I remember you saying that they fucking hated you. Which I kind of get. Look, right. That sounds like I'm being out of order, but I kind of get it. Because we were going to launch parties, and we were doing this, and we were doing that, which was all brilliant. But you've got people that it's their professional career, and they're looking over and seeing some guy that sticks a microphone in his face once a fucking week, and he's invited along as if he's games media. I get that. Mm. I'd get why some people would be pissed off with that.
Yeah.
So I'm not putting the full blame on them. But it was still a bit awkward. Put it that way.
Right, next question comes from Sora, who says, hey guys, not sure if this is feedback or a question, but a guest toilet? Aren't any of your friends or extended family good enough to use the family loo, or what? Is this a snobby British thing where one toilet is covered in a fancy loo doily and has snazzy loo rolls to show off to visitors? Or is the family loo so gross that you must hide your familial gastric explosions from your friends in shame? Sincerely mind blown by a guest dunny, Sora. How did this come up?
I think it's because I mentioned that we've got two toilets.
Oh yeah,
but
James, you've stepped down, have you? You had 8 in the last one. What's the
slumming it?
Well, no, there's one in the bathroom, and then there's just another one in a cupboard. So it's
what?
You know what I mean? Okay, it's a small room, which is it's a small toilet room.
I assume the toilet is plumbed in, yeah?
It's not just
kind of sitting there.
How the fuck have you moved into a place with no kitchen sink but 2 toilets?
No, there was a kitchen sink, but there was
2 toilets, 1 light.
What? Sorry, what?
What?
There was a kitchen sink.
I never said there wasn't a kitchen sink.
I'm gonna go.
You can go back because I've already said that we were lucky and that there was parts of the kitchen were there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, if you don't remember, David, he's like, well, you wouldn't know what it's like to not have a kitchen. I mean, we did have a kitchen, but some people don't have a kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me rephrase that. Let me phrase that little dig. Okay. How the fuck do you move into a place with no fucking toilet light but 2 toilets?
Well, no, one of the toilets has actually got a light in it. I just don't like that one very much.
Hello. It's just less romantic.
I just don't like that one.
Could you take the light from the one toilet and put it in the bathroom?
No, because it's the way it's fitted would make that really difficult. It's
fair enough.
Right, okay. So why don't you like the toilet with a light in?
Hang on, I've got another question. Right, if I was going to fit a light,
answer that one first. Mm-hmm. Why don't you like the toilet with a light in?
It's too small. It's a small room.
How much room do you need?
The actual toilet?
Yeah, the room's too small. It just feels a bit claustrophobic and weird. Don't like it.
All right. Okay.
Okay. I like very small rooms for toilets. Just stick me in a... Yeah, I like that.
I like
it makes me feel like...
Spread out.
I can ask you a question that maybe you can can help me with this, right? Because
of course.
One of the problems I've got with adding the light in the bathroom is that in this place, the light switches, whether they're on or off, if you switch... Okay, the light switches here are not like the ones I've ever had before, whereby there's not a clear indicator if it's on or not, you see.
Right.
So, let me give you an example. Like, the light went off
Often the light's a giveaway, isn't it?
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Go on. No, he's got a point. Go on.
No, because that's what I'm saying. Like in the living room, like one of the light bulbs went. So I can tell. Okay, this has gone off. It's switched on, but then I just need to turn it off, and then I can change the bulb.
Okay.
In the bathroom, I don't know whether the power is going to the socket.
You've got a switchboard, mate. You got a switchboard.
That is a good point. I can go into the consumer unit and I can just switch it off.
You would never touch I
was going to say, you wouldn't install anything anyway.
No. Turn the electricity off.
That is a good point. I had forgotten about that. So yeah, I can just switch that off. Yeah.
You're about to kill yourself, weren't you? Like,
otherwise there would have been a big
changing light fixtures.
There'd been a big bang.
mean, to be fair, I've changed tons of light bulbs without turning the fuse off. I've just fucking...
No, light bulbs is fine. You don't turn fuse off to change a light bulb.
Okay, I thought that's what you were saying. Okay.
But no, this is these are like wires and stuff, which it looks a bit like it could be a bit dangerous.
Yeah, I would turn the electrics off of that.
Yeah.
You can get,
I could definitely
James,
turn
if you're worried, you can get screwdrivers that light up if they touch a live cable.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be about a $5
They also
off Amazon.
explode in your hand, though. So they're made of pure metal.
Swings and roundabouts. Yeah, they light up as your hand like sets on fire and explodes.
I'll get a fork. I'll get a fork and stick that
James.
in there.
Oh, that? Yeah.
Just get one of those screwdrivers and stick it into the ceiling in that bathroom. Then job done. You don't need to install light fittings.
Brilliant.
Just turn the light on and the whole fucking screwdriver lights up.
Like pushing them all into the air. Here we go. Very romantic.
Okay. I still can't, I'm really scared of electricity. Like, I still can't just put a nail in a wall without freaking the fuck out. I'm just thinking if this goes for a while, I'm going to
I'll tell you, you'd be having a terrible trouble if you were trying to put up curtains then, Dave. Because, you have drill holes all over the place.
Still fucking do it though, mate. Go on.
No, when I was putting these power sockets in, I was like, right, definitely turned all the electricity off just in case. And I was still a bit paranoid about it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to rewire them, but without touching, the actual exposed bits at the end, just in case. And then, within 5 minutes, I've accidentally touched them about 20 times. So it's like,
like it's like a real life version of do you remember when you went to a fair and you had that little hoop thing and you had to go around that wire really slowly?
Yeah.
Good.
Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS, koala bears. That's a good one. I like that. The arcade cabinet talk, while enjoyable, reminded me of how noisy those machines actually were. I would imagine anyone that installs one at home would have to live with modern-day saints that can put up with the noise level. Having said that, what would a TCGS attract mode look and sound like? Thank you for the weekly dose of laughter. Sincerely, Maria.
It'd just be pictures of James Farley, right?
Yeah, in the nude and stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Don't act surprised, James. This is where we always go with questions.
This is where we're at now. The little painting down the side of it.
I thought
James,
you meant like pictures.
James with holding a leaf over his penis.
That'd be a big leaf,
though, be a palm tree one. That would attract anyone to go over and play.
Just scrolling images, just some music.
I'm assuming you can mute them.
Right, but where's the fun in that? You don't mute them in an arcade.
Well, you wouldn't just have it on constantly going.
You do if you work on the seafront.
But we're not. We're talking about in the house.
I don't think I mentioned this on the show. So because it was Isaac's birthday the other week, so we took him to Dog Bowl in Manchester, which is it's like a bowling alley, and there's also an arcade which is run by NQ64. There's like an arcade. There's one in Manchester and one in Liverpool and stuff. And it was proper good. He fucking loved it. And he's like obsessed. He keeps asking when he can go back and play on the arcades. The answer being probably not for a while, mate. But I'm part of me
there's
is
one
like,
in Croydon that I want to take Harry to. I've got to do that at some point. Yeah, those places.
But I've also had the same thought, Dave, about getting one of those home cabinets and just modding it with a Raspberry Pi and stuff.
Oh, someone DM'd me about it actually.
Oh yeah.
One that they done, and it's like a 1/3 size cabinet.
Okay.
And he said it was like the perfect.
Yeah, man.
Sort of, it was a great thing to do. It only cost them about £200, and it didn't take up too much room.
Because
I will forward you on the DM.
Thank you. Because there's that company that do the ones that they sell in. It's either Smiths. It's not the Entertainer.
Smiths, yeah.
Yeah, and they're just like obviously, they're just like one game ones. So there's like a Street Fighter 2 one and stuff. I think they're like £300. But they're full size. But yeah, and you can. There's loads of guides and stuff on modding them with a Raspberry Pi, so that's tempting.
Yeah, Stephen sent me a DM, so thanks for sending me that, Stephen. It's a company called Arcade One Up.
Okay,
and
it might be the
they do
one.
smaller size cabs with retro pies in them. So
right,
you know, it's not going to be the
Wicked.
full. Yeah, it's not going to be the full experience, but obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea behind it is that you get a little bit of the experience, but also not taking up too much room. So I like the
plus,
sound
like
of that.
if I was doing it for Isaac, which on paper that is the point. Obviously a smaller one's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
Definitely not for me. It's not at all for me. It's fine.
Now, I will get zero enjoyment out of this news.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I mean,
if anything, get out of the house. Bloody. But if we have to, then
if
I'll
Isaac
help.
wants me to play on it with him.
He has been
I
asking me
will.
for years. I mean, he's been asking me, so we should probably do it.
cool.
Lukey Lawnmower says, when I was a kid, my mum would insist that I keep the curtains open all the time when I played video games. This meant that our bubble screen TV with a glass panel on the front would show nothing but the reflection of the windows opposite, and I'd have to look at the screen at such an angle that it was like playing games on a trapezoid. What kind of annoying restrictions would your parents put on your game playing, and has this influenced the way you restrict your own kids' playing time?
No, absolutely not. I would not pass any of the parenting I went through onto my kids.
Yeah.
But I've told the story once, I'll tell it again. I got the flu once, and my mum blamed my N64 for me having the flu and took it off me for a month.
Jesus.
A month.
So
a month
what were you
without
playing?
my N64.
While you were ill as well.
Banjo-Kazooie, obviously. I was probably done. I probably done it 24 times by that point. But the 25th had to wait. Yeah. I had the flu. That's what it was. And Mum went, well, it's because you play too many video games. I went, no, I don't think that's how the flu works, Mum.
No.
And she just went, well, I'm taking it away. And she took the fucking N64 away for a month.
So I suppose with COVID, she's like, a lot of people playing games these days, aren't they?
Yeah. No wonder this has come about now.
Yeah, everyone's on their phones.
Mum, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
You don't make more than movies and music combined.
It does.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, my parents were pretty relaxed about this stuff, but then obviously, like back in the Commodore 64 days, couldn't really be arsed playing anything for more than 30 minutes at a time. Because they just, I don't know, the games weren't so finely tuned to make you be like, yeah, fuck, I need to play more, this is amazing.
Because the games were shit.
The games were shit.
Well, sometimes I'll play my Commodore 64 for 2.5 hours because about an hour and a half of that was loading.
There is that.
And then I'll kick someone and say, here's loading again for another half an hour. I was like, for fuck. You like game all day, haven't you, Matt? Well, I have, but I've done 2 kicks and a shot.
But yeah,
Didn't
I don't
have
remember
SSDs back then, did we, lads?
No.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say
We did
the only time I remember them thinking it was getting a bit much was a friend let me borrow his Game Boy, and obviously I could just load things up instantly on that and just and play them for as long as I wanted. And then that's the only time I can remember my mum being like, right, you need to put that away now. You literally haven't stopped looking at it all day. Which is sort of fair enough. But that's it, I think.
There are minor restrictions like that for my kids, but there's gaming's a
because I
like it.
I don't know if your kids are the same, but like with Isaac, like I wouldn't. I don't think I would put any limits on his screen time if I thought he was like if I could see he was engaging with it in a healthy way. But like,
yeah, I've had a couple of moments where he's cried because he's lost at a game, and I'm like, right, that's going off
enough.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
like Isaac just starts going. It's like his brain's just like fucking just going, like it's just like on fire or something, and he's just like, I don't know. He just gets too hyped up about things after like an hour or something, and it's like, right, that's enough.
Yeah, and if I ever say turn it off now, and they don't turn it off quickly, then that's it. That goes off for a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be fair, Harry's really good at that. You'll say turn it off now, and he'll go okay, and then just turn it off.
And
it's
like,
not
and
like
I think
the old days where you had to find a save point.
Yeah, and I think it makes a difference. And like, I'm sure you've done this as well. Like being able to sit down with them and just be like, I get it. It's really annoying having to like break away. It's like, you know, if it's for dinner or whatever, like I understand how much you're enjoying this, and it's not always easy to just like bin it and do something else. But you sort of have to, mate. Like,
also,
you know what I mean? It's not just
that
like
all goes out the window though when Joe says, "Turn it off now. You got to do the washing up or whatever," and I'm like, "No, I don't want
I've never
to."
got this far before. I've got.
Yeah.
I'm on a boss.
I'll just find a save point, and then you know that you can save anywhere. You know that you could save anywhere.
But you know what I mean? Though, like, obviously, when we were told, as I've just said, like, it didn't really happen often. But when we were told to like stop doing something we enjoyed, it was something that, like, it was a hobby that literally didn't exist when our parents were little, and it was like completely new. Whereas we can sort of come at it from that angle of like, look, I know, but it's got to be done.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Right, last question comes from Jimmy. This is a question for Matt. I turned 31 this year. Is it okay for me to buy a BMX? Cheers.
Absolutely. 31's nothing.
Yeah, fuck it,
buy
man.
2.
Do it. Get yourself BMX.
Buy 2? Why would you buy 2?
Just in case of one's getting serviced. I don't know. yeah, absolutely.
Keep one-
yeah,
keep
absolutely.
one pristine in the
It doesn't
house.
matter what age you are. Buy what you want. Like what? What do you mean? There's always like, too old for that. Fuck that.
Yeah, man.
You're going to be on your deathbed thinking, I've really wanted to play BMX actually, but I can't because someone on twitter.com said I was too old for it. Fuck that. Do what makes you
Or on the
happy.
podcast that I recalled.
With my friends.
Yeah, you're too old for it, mate.
Just enjoy
pack
life.
it in.
Do whatever. Don't worry about what other people think. Christ.
Listen, that money you were going to spend on the BMX, invest it in some stocks. Yeah, you're an adult. Come on.
Or at least crypto. You've got to at least invest in crypto, yeah.
I'm
That's what
Get a
I don't know,
trouser
actually.
press.
I still don't 100% know what a trouser press does or is.
We don't need to, Sean, because it's not
it
the
presses
80s.
trousers. It presses trousers.
But, is it, but
No,
how
I
is it
went
different
to-
from like an iron? I don't...
Because you just place it in there, don't you?
Okay.
No, I went to my mum and dad's at the weekend. They moved down to Margate, and
Have they got a
we went
trouser
down
press?
to visit the weekend. they had a trouser
Wow.
press
Oh
in
my
the
God.
guest bedroom.
What?
It was so weird.
Have they also moved
Yeah.
to the 70s?
They did, yeah. Or to a hotel. They still have them in hotels, don't they?
Yeah, I think.
And
No,
I'm,
they
I
do,
just sort
do
of
they?
look at it like, what am I supposed to do with
All
this?
of us just remembering we haven't been to hotels in at least 2 years.
I finally took something to be... What's that?
Sorry.
What?
It just sounded like yes.
Let's do my Manchester accent. I am...
Yeah, I thought you were going, and then you went,
Okay, sorry.
God, sorry.
I finally took something to be dry cleaned for the first time in my life, other than like a suit for a
what?
wedding.
You've not done that before?
No,
It's the best.
well, this was so. This is my nice, very Tory tweed overcoat that Isaac sat on my shoulders and then pissed himself when I was wearing it.
Yeah, that can happen.
And it's just been like lying around, like, because it wasn't, it's not like he like
Smelling a
pissed
piss.
directly on it. Just some of it sort of seeped through. So it's just had a bit
James
of a...
Farley did that to my Burberry jacket. I was fuming at the GMA Awards.
carrying around on your shoulders. So it's just been like, I should probably get that. Let's probably get that sorted. And then, it's one of those things. You just walk into a building and they go, "Yeah, it's a tenner." You go, "There you go, cheers, see you on Friday." And you're like, "Why have I put this off for months?" Like,
Yeah, I know,
ridiculous.
it's good. And then the little paper bit that they do. What was they put the little paper bit over the wire hanger, and it's got that blue adhesive on the top of it.
I don't think I
I'm
saw
like,
this.
"What? That's a bit weird."
Not had the full experience. I've got my little slip here,
Yeah,
though.
I've also had to go to those places to get trousers sewn up before.
Oh yeah.
Lockdown has not been kind to me. Right, is that it for this week,
Think so.
Matt? Let's get to the socials.
It is a mammoth socials this week.
Oh my God,
so
it is.
strap in. We've got streams basically every day this week.
Hold on, I
Streams
need to
and-
install the horn thing. One sec.
Okay, well, by doing that,
Go on.
Wednesday, it's basically a James Farley double bill. James is streaming a game, not many of you have heard. It's called YouTuber's Life 2.
We saw this, right? Should we be totally honest? We got a press release about this offering us code, and I said, "James, you've got to stream this. YouTuber Life 2. Yes, please. I can't wait for you to become a YouTuber, James."
I know, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I just installed it, actually, so... yeah. Excited.
Here we go.
I'm worried because obviously you haven't played the first one, so there might be like a bit of a recap at the beginning. But yeah, basically, so Wednesday night from 8 p.m, these are all on Twitch, and I'll come to that in a minute. 8 p.m, Wednesday night, YouTube is live too. Also Wednesday evening after that, from about 10 to 10, we're all doing a talks over of the PlayStation State of Play. I believe that State of Play starts at 10. It's only going to last 20 minutes, but we're going to do a talks over that as well. That I believe they're focusing on PS4, PS5, and like third-party stuff. Anyway, that's Wednesday. Thursday, we've got Bel Shaddai. That's Thursday night from 9 p.m. Friday, Dark Souls 2 from 9 p.m. Saturday, if you're a patron member, the £8.50 and above tier, we're doing a talks over of ghost hunting with the Happy Mondays. That is Saturday night from 9.
Not with them, though. No. They're on that show. Well, they're not. The Happy Mondays are not going to be joining us.
Yeah, that's
for
the
that
name
stream.
of the show. They're not joining us live.
Let's not ruin the surprise. But yeah, we're doing. We're talking about that. And then Sunday, Mass Effect from 8. So that's a lot of stuff happening. Basically, to go to twitch.tv/TCGS Co. Follow us and get and turn up that bell on to get notified when we're doing these various streams in the week as well. The Patreon talks over is only on YouTube. Also Friday, Dark Calls. On this week's episode, James reaches Blighttown for the first time.
Oh my god!
So I'm excited to re-listen to that. That's not on this feed, of course. It's on a special Dark Souls feed. Search for that in your podcast app of choice. If you've got Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, please give us your subs. Patreon.com/TCGS, we mentioned that, and the website is tcgs.co for links to our social channels and our beautiful Discord and all the other things we do, and our store, of course. That's it. Hopefully we'll see people at these streams. It's a busy old week.
Yeah, it is a busy one. Thank you so much for living it. We will catch you on next week's show. We hope you have a good week. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.